Hey, welcome to Tuesday's show. My name's David,
And
Ultra
I'm,
David
and
Graham.
jchensor Chen. How's everybody going?
We're going to be talking about Capcom Cup, which happened over the past weekend. We'll talk about a couple of other tournaments too, because there was more than that just going on. We're going to talk about Street Fighter V Season 4, which is out. Did you know that?
Dang.
Turns out, yeah, they told people live and everything.
It was definitely a big old announcement.
It was a big announcement.
To give everybody a shock and a surprise.
Very shocking, very surprising, but indeed it's out. We have some other stuff we're going to chat about in the 5-5 matchup. We'll talk about like Evo Japan's lineup and stuff like that. So.
Colby Santana for the sub. Grazie.
Grazie.
You. Okay.
But yeah, let's start with Capcom Cup. That was the biggest thing. We were there.
Yes. We were there. We did some commentary, analysis, some interviews, and fun times.
It was, yeah, okay. So, we'll get to the results and all that stuff. But before we do, we always like to chat about our experience there. How was your experience at the Capcom Cup?
I enjoyed it. I liked it. Obviously, there were a couple of issues, without trying to get into it, because we'll probably talk about it a little bit later, but, the venue space was a little bit smaller than I had hoped and everything like that. I've been in there before, but, I knew it was going to have the limitations that it was going to have. But, overall, I thought the matches were really good. I thought all the stuff that happened there, man, the reveal would have been pretty cool if it didn't, God. Oh, it's just, they just never seems things...
We'll talk about the problems in Capcom Cup,
But overall, it was a lot of fun. I thought the commentary was really good. Super glad we got to do the Problem X Justin Wong match, because...
That was a highlight.
I really enjoyed that match, and I felt like we did a good job at least making it so that it didn't... Because I know there's people out there who don't like it. They find that kind of style boring, 77 seconds around and stuff like that, but... I hope we made it exciting and everything.
It was a blast for me to do in any case.
Yeah.
It was the first time I had been to Esports Arena in Las Vegas. I hadn't been there. Well, I wasn't there at Evo this year, so I didn't go. Yeah, it's an unusual space. I think it's kind of shaped like a colon, if you think about it. I don't know. As I was thinking about literally right now, as I was thinking about how to describe it, I was like...
But she has the big old hat, she has the arms, and she throws ice. I don't see how it's kind of shaped like her.
Okay, all right. I see what you're doing there. All right. It has a front that was viewable, right? So, okay, poop jokes aside. As you walk into it, if you've never been there, there's an opening foyer, and then you go into the kind of bowels of it. I can't get away from it. I don't know why. It wasn't even intended. Anyways, you go deeper in there. It's impossible.
Oh, man.
It opens up. It gets a little wider once you're in there. It doesn't seem like you can get all the way in there and fit, but it turns out you can.
Thanks, everybody, for watching the Tuesday show. I'm James Chen. This has been Ultra David. Have a good night, everybody.
Oh, man. All right. So, James, before we went live, told me that he was feeling really tired, and I told him I was feeling really tired, too. So I think that's probably what this is about. Anyway, the shape is a little funky. As you walk into there, it definitely gets bigger. It clearly used to be a dance club, right? Like
or something, yeah.
So in the front room, they had one of the stations for Capcom Cup, especially for the LCQ, and then for the first day of Capcom Cup when they had streams running simultaneously. And then they had the other one, which was, on the fancy stage. That was the main one.
Yeah.
But they had these two, so it was nice to have two different settings. And for people who are walking by, just like in the casino, like it was right there. Many people did walk by and watch on the monitors, which were quite big monitors. Especially what was going on in that opening room.
Yeah, that LCQ match between particularly Problem X and Menat RD, which they got the European crowd and the
UK versus DR.
Yeah, the Dominican Republic crowd, and they were just being loud and singing and chanting. That definitely drew a lot of attention. A lot of people said that people would walk by and try to see what was going on and everything.
It was
actually kind of cool. Yeah.
It definitely was cool. Yeah, but yeah, the shape is a little weird because once you're in there, although it's kind of like horizontally a nice space, there's not a lot of like vertical space away from the screen, like from this from the screen on one side and from the main wall where it was to the opposite one was 50 feet.
You're talking about the main stage?
On the main stage?
Yeah.
Not very much space. Whereas if you look at it horizontally, it's a couple hundred feet maybe.
Right.
So,
yeah, I mean,
it's a little weird shape for what it is.
And even remember how I mentioned last week that there were like bleachers that you could they could pull out. There's really not even that much of that. It's not even like two chunks of it. It's just like one small chunk of it, and maybe only like 6 rows or something like that kind of went up. And then they just planted chairs all along the side
for
the rest of the people to view. There's the upper balcony area, which was the VIP area, but for the most part, it was kind of the venue is
nothing. It's just in my. I'm just gonna let it stay in my head. It's fine. I don't need to tell all the poop jokes. It was
Vicious and Tubo are fully aware of what can happen here, so Don't worry, Tubo.
I'm sure they can handle it.
Because he says he's here to shitpost, but I'm saying that it's kind of too late already, right? So
bummer.
Yeah. Because I feel like David's already handled that himself right now.
It was just smaller than previous years. That's all. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Do you feel like it's smaller than the Esports Santa Ana?
I know that it's bigger because at the Gamers' Choice Awards, I was sitting next to 2 people who work at Esports Arena, and I was telling them how I'm going to go to Capcom Cup. And they were like, "Oh, you're going to love it. It's so big. It's twice as big as the one in Orange County." That was their claim, and I'm not sure it's twice. I guess it is, but it doesn't seem maybe twice.
It's because it's maybe it has that square footage, but it's not in a big box.
Right.
It's like spread around the.
Look,
it looks like the shape of the bad guy from Life Force. The giant brain with the thing coming down and the arms and everything. No, okay.
I don't get it. Yeah.
So trying.
It was just a little small. That's all. But it was on finals day especially very nicely done. I felt. The stage I thought looked great. Mm-hmm. There are all these cool lights that look nice. Like it didn't look bad. It was just a little smaller. I thought that it looked quite nice, to be honest.
Oh yeah, they did a good job with all I don't know if it's digital lighting because they changed everything to blue and yellow, and that little hallway thing where they had Goichi and Sonic Fox go down that first week.
That's right. That was there.
Yeah.
They also had in the first 2 days when things were going on simultaneously on both streams. They had in the major room. The big screen was the match that was happening right there. The players, they were right there. But they also had on the sides 2 smaller screens, but still pretty big. Everybody could see that were the things that were going on out in the foyer. So I thought that was really nice. It was really nice also.
Yeah, so
there are definitely good things about the setup there.
Yeah, the setup is a really cool place for events. I'm just not sure if it was the right one for that one that I felt like should have had a bigger magnitude.
I can confirm that the venue did occasionally have a funky smell every now and then. Something would waft through there.
Oh, dude.
Maybe that's why I called it a colon. Maybe that's why my brain was
We were standing there, and someone walked right past us, and the smell hit us, and we swore that guy just let one out. And we were honestly kind of glad to find out that everyone was smelling it because we wanted to go take that guy to the hospital.
The hospital.
Seriously, if it was that bad, holy crap.
I actually was commentating with Tasty Steve, and I thought that he smelled horrible. I legit was thinking about just leaning over and being like, "You couldn't take a shower today?" But it wasn't him. It turned out it was this other smell. Well, presumably anyway. I never actually asked him if he had taken a shower.
Yeah, it was Majid Obama was one of the guys that I was standing with when that happened, and so there was definitely some crazy sewage thing going on.
Something was a little weird. I don't want to complain about the space too much. I thought that they did it up quite nicely. It's just a little smaller. That's all.
Okay.
So I think that had an impact in terms of feel. It reminded me more of the Esports Arena, from a couple of years ago versus the considerably larger spaces that Capcom Cup's been in the past. Now, it's not linked to the PlayStation Expo or anything anymore, right? So you got to think that that's probably the biggest individual reason why. Because you think about last year, we were in this arena, a few thousand people. It was big.
It's cool. Yeah.
It was great. It was great. This year was much less. Yeah. But that's, I'm sure, partly just the circumstances that they were in.
The arena was decently full for top 8.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. I don't know, several hundred people, something like that. That's my guess. Yeah, but it didn't have quite the same feel. The LCQ, the cats are doing something.
You can keep going. You don't have to wait for me to finish shooing the cats.
The LCQ was cool. All right, you want to get into the results, or is there anything else to say about the actual, the sort of
our experiences
our
there?
experiences,
Yeah. So, I mean, look, I knew that I had to wake up at a blistering 10 a.m. every day, even earlier than that, because I had to get there at 10 a.m. I actually made sure to like go to sleep early whole weekend. Yeah, and I actually managed to get decent sleep.
Okay,
you know, so
nice work, dude.
I was actually pretty awake for most of that tournament. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I enjoyed commentating. I thought commentating went well. The analyst desk I thought was fine. I feel like we could all work on some of that, but I thought it was mostly fine. And then I wanted to sort of address some of the other problems. Maybe
we'll get there. Let's go to the results first. We keep
first,
wanting to talk about a lot of these other things, it sounds like.
Indeed. All right, so the top 8. First of all, who went 0-2? Big Bird, Oil King, again.
By the way, I just want to say one thing. I mean, spoilers, we all know who won, right?
Yes.
I don't think anybody here is waiting for us to announce. I just want to remind everybody that in my bracket last week, I had Gotcha-kun going 0-2. I just want to remind everybody that I had Gotcha go. But to my credit, by the way, yes. But to my credit, though, I said that I know every year someone very unexpected goes 0-2. So I wanted to pick someone that was very unlikely to go 0-2 to go 0-2, and Gotcha-kun was my pick. So that was my way of saying that I thought he was super good.
Wow.
And totally had a chance to win, but it has to be somebody unexpected.
Got it.
Had to be someone unexpected.
You know, it's a pretty good excuse, actually.
Yeah.
Nice work. I feel like you put more work into that excuse than the original picks. Whoa! CJ Truth also was 0-2. Nemo, Daigo, ZJZ, who of course won the last chance qualifier, Verloren, and Picaro.
Yeah,
I gotta tell you, among those 8, I think Picaro was the best that day. I don't know that he'd be the best across the whole season, but that day.
Yeah. And honestly, it really did turn out, but it was probably Nemo and Daigo who were the two very surprised, kind of unlikely 0-2ers.
Yeah, not even I, who apparently hates Daigo.
Oh, you despise
Obviously,
him.
I hate Daigo.
Right? Yeah.
Not even I had him going 0-2. Yeah. I did have Nemo going 0-2, though.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah. Now,
I had Nemo beating Haitani to not go 0-2.
Okay.
But Haitani ended up beating Nemo.
Yeah, but
you
you
know.
Either one of those was too weird. Mago, Phenom, Fudo, Haitani, Sako, NL, Mena RD, and Luffy got 17th. 13th, aka top 16. Knuckledew, Punk, Xiaohai, and Tokido.
Yeah. Punk, Knuckledew, and Tokido all going out at 13th spot.
Yeah.
That is wildness there. I don't think anyone would have been able to predict that.
I think you're right. I think that killed every bracket.
Yeah.
I mean, other things did too, but Tokido at 13th, nobody's bracket survived that.
Right.
9th places were Chris Tatarian, Kaba, Problem X, and Storm Kubo.
Yeah, and I really felt like Chris T was kind of the standout of those 4 right there. I mean, he destroyed Fudo, and then he destroyed Xiaohai, which was surprising. And then he came the match that he lost first on the winner's side was
Bonchan.
Was Bonchan,
and that was
super
to make
close.
top 8 for Bonchan on winner's side.
Yeah.
And Chris and Bonchan, they went down to the final round.
Final round. Yeah.
You know, so that really could have gone either way. And then he put up a good showing in losers as well. So yeah, hats off to him. I thought he played super well. Then you get to the top 8. 7th places were Momochi with Colleen, Zeku, and Ken. Nasser Angry Bird with Zeku, also 7th. 5th places were RB Bonchan with Karen and Nash. No Sagato. 5th also was Echo Fox Justin Wong with Menat. 4th was Razor Sien, Ibuki. 3rd, FD Fujimura, also Ibuki. 2nd place, DNG Itabashi Zangief, Abigail. And the winner, Jasmine the Cat, for hopping up onto the stove over there. Oh, she's actually on the stove.
Jesus, okay.
Probably go get her.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's not great. Winner was RB Gotcha-kun with Rashid. Fascinating top 8 in terms of a few different metrics. One of them was that there was no Akuma, there was no Rashid. I'm sorry. Wow. All right. This cat's happening. There was no Akuma, there was no Guile, there was no Cammy. And these are the characters that many of us have talked about as being the best.
Yeah. Those were always the top 3 that everybody was talking about. Sorry, I'm yelling because I'm trying to use your microphone right now. but those are always the top 3 that everybody talks about.
Yeah.
And none of them, even in the top 12, there was only one Guile, which was Kaba.
Yeah.
But outside of that, so in the top 12 of those 3 characters, there was one Guile. 7 Camis all failed to make it up there, and 2 or 3 Akumas all failed to make it up there.
Yep.
And 2 of the 3 Guiles did not make it up there.
Yep. And then in the top 8, you had 2 Zekus. You had a Ken, a Colleen, a Karen, and a Nash. Mm-hmm. Menat, makes sense. Ibuki. Mm-hmm. Sensible. Rashid won the whole thing. Abigail, I feel like many of us would put him in the low top 10-ish
6 to
region.
10, yeah, 6 to 10 kind of area.
So none of that is a big surprise, but it's just, well, maybe Zeku's a surprise, maybe Karen and Nash are a surprise, but I think it's really cool because it shows that the game isn't just about the tiers. And it's not Panda winning the whole thing.
Right.
It's not that degree of, it's not Joker winning the whole thing. But it does show that the game is more balanced than people often give it credit for. And scenes always do this, right? Like, especially in modern games, we overestimate the importance of the tiers. It's not nothing. It's definitely not nothing. But it's not as important as people give it credit for. It's not like how it used to be. It's not. There's not 5 Chuns in top 8 and 2 Kens and a Yun. Like, it's not. Right. It's not that anymore.
I mean,
it hasn't been like the way
I
for a
literally
long time.
tallied the Third Strike Evo top 8s, and it was like one year was literally Chun, Yun, and then like a Makoto or something like that. Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
So
it's not that way anymore. I also thought it was cool because the age ranges were very far. It was like 20 to 37. Mm-hmm. There were different regions represented. I thought that was cool.
And even with like Menat, there was only the one Menat, Justin, and Justin plays him in such a unique style. Yeah. And none of the other Menats made it. A lot of people picked Sako to win the event. ZJZ, who got in there by dominating the Last Chance qualifiers. By the way, Last Chance qualifiers showed just how buff and broken Dalsum is.
Dang, 2 Dalsums in top 4?
I know, right? What a good character.
I can't believe they buffed
He's
him.
so mobile. It's just like, he's like Sentinel from MVC2, man. He's like going around going stomp, fly, unfly, and stuff like that.
You kind of can do that, I guess, EX Flame. EX Gale, I should say. Man. So I thought it was really interesting in terms of the representation. Of course, Japan finally won a Capcom Cup in their 3rd try when it comes to Street Fighter V.
Yeah, not only did they win, but they got top 3. So it was.
They did get top 3, and 5 out of the top 8 in general.
Yeah, so it was pretty dominant for them. But I kind of felt like it was their year. Yeah. I felt like Japan was going to take it this year. So.
I think so too. I think that's not a big surprise. The matches were super cool. I thought some of them were very, very compelling. The one between Justin and Itazan is the one that sticks out the most in my mind because Justin was up so much, 2-0, and that matchup is not like as bad as you would think for Abigail, just looking at the character, but it still is not a win for sure.
Right, but
and Itazan's his reads as the set went on in terms of like when to jump, when to dash. Mm-hmm. He had those reads.
Yeah, and the match came down to exactly how you would expect that match to go because once Abigail gets in, no defense Menat just got blown up. Right. So that was definitely not fun to deal with. And you could tell whenever he got in, Justin started to play a little nervous, I think. Yeah. You could tell. So.
She just has to make bad choices, and Itazan was guessing right so consistently. But very cool for Justin to have gotten that far. Were there any matches that... Oh, and I should also say, obviously, Grand Finals was awesome. Itazan blowing up Gachikun in the first set. Dominant. A blow-up. And then much better showing by Gachikun afterward, who played Rashid versus Abigail immaculately. It wasn't just the zoning. It was like, if he saw a button that was canceled into Giant Flip, or if he saw the startup of Giant Flip, he always pressed stand strong in that second set and always got the good punish. He never missed it. It was crazy.
And again, there you see the benefit of making it into grand finals. On the winner's side, gives you a set to play nervous and kind of like, what just happened here? And then that bracket reset is kind of like a forced thing to make you kind of go, okay, wait. Even if you don't put any delay between them, the reset puts a mental break into you, and then you can kind of reevaluate the situation. So I feel like, that played for Gachikun a lot. So
yeah. Were there any matches other than that stuck out to you?
I mean, we mentioned Justin Problem X, right?
Yes,
So,
that's one of my favorite matches of maybe the year. I got to go think about it for our Ultra Gen Awards, but I think that might show up on that list because that's such a different style than like Season 1 Street Fighter V. Like it's so cool that the game is at a place now where it can be played in that way,
right?
And also be played by Abigail got second place. Like he blew characters up. Like both of those survive in the same game. I think that's very cool.
And then you got the Ibuki, which is just like the craziness. Yeah. So the whole gamut is much more well represented than it was in Season 1 and partway through Season 2.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. I thought that was very, very cool. Anything else to say about the results? Were there any big surprises other than that for you?
I mean, to be honest with you, I just want to say that I'm super happy for Momochi.
Okay.
Because I know people haven't been talking about him so much, and then he just came in and was just like, boom, and just took out so many good players, took out Tokido himself, and just played really, really well. And like I said, I don't know if anybody actually thought he was getting washed up, but we just haven't heard much from him.
Traveling less.
Yeah, and then, of course, super, super happy for Angry Bird.
Yes.
So when I did the pre-show interview, I interviewed Angry Bird, and literally the production crew came up to me and was like, who do you want to interview, James?
Right.
And I was like, I want to interview Angry Bird. He's the one that I want to interview. And so I managed to get him up there. And like I said, I'm super happy for him. What a great run. What a great story for him. I mean, I said to him in the interview, like, one of the things that was the most memorable to me for the year was when he qualified at the EU qualifiers, and when you heard Logan just being like, an Angry Bird has made the Capcom Cup. And like, as soon as he heard that sentence, it hit him, and you could just see he was like, oh my God, like, I did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that euphoria, and then just to come here and not go 0-2 and get to top 8, beating all these strong. I was like, it was so awesome to see. Like that made me super happy. That was really, really, that made me happy. So
I feel much the same way about Cien as you said about Momochi.
Yeah,
who we rarely talk about still. I feel like I talk more about the fact that we rarely talk about him than actually talking about him.
Yeah,
he is always so good. But this year was a little up and down for him. He didn't have the consistency of results that he often does. So I think that might have been why we weren't talking about him as much.
Right.
We all know, obviously, any given day, if he's like playing well, he can beat anybody.
Right.
Like he's definitely one of the all-time Street Fighter players.
Right.
It's just that he hasn't had that consistency. So I didn't expect it in Capcom Cup. But to see it was not a surprise.
I mean, let's put it this way. I picked Cien to win last year, right? And because I've always been high on Cien. I always felt like he has that capability. And this year in my brackets, I didn't have him doing well at all. That's kind of how, I felt in this. I just felt like this was inconsistent. But even I wrote down a bunch of interview questions for a bunch of players that obviously I only got to ask 2 people questions. But like for Momochi, one of the questions I had was that him and Cien had faced off in a grand finals before, and if it felt like that added significance to this repeat matchup kind of thing, And there was definitely this theme of like both of them having been very prominent in the Capcom Cup and, trying to reclaim a little bit of that glory kind of thing. So.
Before the top 8, I asked Momochi through Boken, Steve, his thoughts about playing against Cien, because that was the match he was going to play. And he said he went into the whole history of how they used to go back and forth in Street Fighter 4. And at one point, Momochi felt like he was better. At one point, he felt Cien was better. And he just went back and forth. And then in Season 1, he talked about how he was better, Momochi was stronger. And then in Season 2, Cien got strong. He picked Ibuki. And he was doing all this great stuff. And he was narrating this whole back and forth that they always had, apparently.
That's so cool.
And then this year, this was the first time they played. It wasn't like the previous years where it was back and forth all the time. This time, it was like in 2018, the first time was at the very, very end. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and don't forget, Cien also lost first round, too.
Yeah,
and he looked pretty crestfallen after that. And the fact that he was able to make it all the way back. And, I kind of want to address that, too, before we move on to some of the other stuff, too.
Okay.
Look, saltiness is going to be a reality at the Capcom Cup. Right, when Menat RD lost his first match, he was just sitting on a side couch there and just wasn't even moving. Like after he lost, you could see he could barely move, right? When Xiao Hai lost, he was so distraught. When, like I said, when Cien lost that first one, he was just crazy. Obviously, we had Punk with a little bit of the salty tweet that he had regarding Bonchan and Daigo. Dude, again, like you can't even really give him that much crap. We can talk to him and be like, just try not, don't be salty and tweet. But like at the same time, I can't get mad at that. I can't get frustrated at that kind of thing. It's not the best phrasing, but like, oh yeah, okay, fair enough. But it's just like, it's just going to happen. A lot of people got salty. Everyone remembers the famous Justin tweet after we were talking about his record, and he was like, I don't talk about you guys, but chill and relax, right? Like, that stuff just happens, which is why I just didn't even take what Justin said at that point in time to heart too much,
We're still friends.
Yeah, and the best part about it is one time I was watching the stream on chat, and Justin was playing, and everyone was doing the copy pasta of that.
Oh,
they just kept copy pasting Justin's tweet, so I pasted it in there too. And everybody was like, LOL, James. So,
Martin, do you really have the copy paste still? How's that even possible?
Yeah, I know, right? There you go.
That's impressive.
There.
Angry Bird also lost first round. He lost to Tokido.
Mm-hmm.
He made top 8 as well. So good runs by both of those folks. I thought that so Tokido loses at 13th. Fujimura got 3rd. I thought that those were the 2 best players of the year in general.
Gotcha. Wait.
Fujimura and Tokido.
Oh yeah. Free.
Well, neither one won Capcom Cup, and neither one won Evo.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think about there being any kind of definitive answer to the best Street Fighter V player of the year? I'm not sure there is.
I think it's still Tokido.
Okay.
Just based on the virtue of the number of first and seconds that he had, and that he was so consistent in a game that's very hard to be consistent in. And I just felt like he had an overall stronger year. Fujimura might be the strongest Street Fighter V player of the entire Street Fighter V period, because he's made 3 out of 3 Capcom Cup top 8s and 2 out of 3 Evo top 8s. That's silly. Like
I thought
that.
He had made 3 out of 3.
He missed one. I double checked. Because that was one of my questions to him. I wanted to ask him, so I wanted to make sure. But he was 2 out of 3. But that's just kind of silly to me. You know what I mean? Like to be able to have that kind of consistency. So I think Fujimura is the better player for Street Fighter V's life.
Okay.
I think Tokido was the best player this last year.
Okay.
Because the thing about it is, not winning Capcom Cup, in my opinion, is not an indication of how good you are or whatever like that, going 13, because there's just so many strong players in there, and just how the brackets line up, and Gachikun had an amazing day kind of thing like that, So I just feel like, obviously winning Capcom Cup would solidify it. It would be like, done. We don't even need to talk about this anymore. It adds the question and everything. But in my opinion, I still think Tokido's the strongest player of the year.
Yeah, I think if I had to name somebody, it still would be Tokido. But it's just, there's less claim to that than in other years, I feel, for any one person. Which I'm not opposed to at all. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to see more Picoro.
I'd
love to see Picoro.
That's the thing.
He's so good.
So in my brackets last week, I only had one Cammy in top 8, and I really had to push myself to put her there.
Oh.
I really didn't think that any Cammys were going to make top 8.
Okay.
It's just the way that it always happens. Because remember how I was saying I was picking with my heart and the storylines and everything like that? And my storyline, I was almost positive was going to happen, was despite her being so dominant that none of them were going to make top 8. And then that would be like the story and everybody would joke about it. I didn't know that freaking Guile and who's the last character? Akuma were going to join her. Mm-hmm. Which made the story even crazier, right? So it's crazy.
But it's validation for me, because I think Guile's the best character in the game. I've said it. I'm on record. And he was the highest placing top tier character.
That's right. It's true.
Damn. It is true.
Unless you want to count Menat there too, right?
So, fair enough. Yeah, Menat. Okay. Mm-hmm. But nobody says that she's the best.
Right.
right? Some people think Akuma is, many people do.
Right.
Some people say Cammy, some people say
I mean, the people that say Menat is the best character in the game, I just think are flat out wrong.
I agree with that.
I don't think she's even up there at the same level as Guile, Cammy.
I think she's in the top 5. Right?
Oh yeah, she's in the top 5.
That top 5 is pretty solid.
To me, I think she's 5th, but clearly not as good as the other 4, which is those 3 plus Ibuki. Because she has the weakness, and when you watch the way Fujimura beat Justin, especially because Ibuki has Air EX Kunai. I've been saying this all year. I was like, just keep jumping at Menat.
You have been saying
just keep jumping at Menat. Did you watch how Fujimura played, Justin?
I did.
He just kept jumping.
He did.
He never stopped. Now, to Fujimura's credit, he also has Air EX Kunai,
yes,
which makes everything that much scarier.
Sometimes he did regular kunai. Sometimes he did jump early roundhouse. Like, he mixed it up really well.
But that's how I've always believed. So everybody who says, like, oh, Menat's boring, standing HP is overpowered, just go watch that Fujimura match, and you'll see. Like, you can't be discouraged from jumping, and then you'll be able to win in that situation. And that's why I don't think she's quite at the level of everybody else. So...
I think it actually was the top 6. I mean, the game's changed now, of course, but I thought that it was with Rashid as well. I thought that was the 6. Yeah, like I was saying, I'd love to see more Picaro.
Yeah.
He is clearly very, very strong. I don't know how plausible it is for him to be able to travel, but I would love to see that, because I feel that somebody who has that kind of strong... He almost beat Fujimura in round 1.
Yeah.
Fujimura got 3rd place. That was a very close match, and he did better than anybody else against Fujimura until Fujimura ultimately lost, like in the top 8. So,
dude, do you also just like the fact that at the start of season 3, Rashid got nerfed and everyone was like, he got nerfed, and he comes and wins the tournament anyway. It's the way it works.
Good character. All right.
Man.
Any other words to say about the results?
I mean, just to address that, I mean, that's the thing, is that if you keep jumping and she keeps anti-airing you, you'll lose. But that means she's not throwing out heavy punches anymore because she can't commit to that. So if you jump and get anti-aired a couple of times, then you start coming in from the front.
I mean, obviously, you don't mean literally jump every
right,
time.
like hold up forward.
It's like a
right.
horse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But jump a lot.
And the amount of damage you're going to take getting hit by a crouch fierce or a jump roundhouse, not going to amount to the same amount as when she blocks your jump attack and you get in and throw her. Yeah. And then Abigail gets to...
Like in the very first round or first game, Justin jumped back roundhoused a bunch of Ibuki air approaches. And that's cool, but that got him into the corner. And then he died. Yeah. And then, as the set went on, Fujimura started to adapt, and he did jump early roundhouse to beat her roundhouse instead. And once that happened, Justin, you could tell, was like, well, I don't know what to do anymore.
Yep.
Oh man, what a match,
dude! I would love it if Cien switches back to Fang.
Will be very cool. We'll talk about the patch.
Oh, I'm excited.
Again, anything else to say about the players, the results?
Let's take a look. Great job to Kaba. Again, awesome. Great job to Problem X, 9th place. And great job to Crisitarian. I think those 3 guys really getting 9th place just out of top 8. Like I said, it's nothing to sneeze at. Great job to them. So, okay, I'll stop there. So.
I'm with you. All right, there was a lot of good stuff about Capcom Cup. Matches were great. I hope the commentary was okay. I enjoyed it. I can't speak on that with any certainty. But
I will say that I really enjoyed the analyst desks. I sat down and just was in the room a lot of the times while you guys were doing analysis.
Right.
And I really enjoyed that. I know the pre-show, everybody was kind of frustrated with how long the pre-show was taking, but there was a reason for that.
The positives aside, by the way, I did much more research than typically I do. And I hope that came across, because I feel like I was quoting stats constantly. And that was, I hope that was valuable, because I thought it was, and I enjoyed it.
Okay.
There were some issues, right? So the first couple days I thought went okay, right? I don't think there was any like big blow-ups or anything.
Yeah.
It was the finals day. It began at, when did we start? 1 o'clock? That we started for Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo?
No, we started at noon.
Maybe we started at noon.
We
started at noon.
Yeah.
Then the top 8 was supposed to start at 1. Then there was supposed to be a halftime show. Then there was supposed to be the rest of the top 8. Then the post show. things got rearranged just due to logistics. It wasn't like that was the plan. It just, things happened that day. Logistically, it just made more sense. It was more practical, really, to do it the way that we did it. There would have been longer delays otherwise.
Yeah.
Right? So this is like a way actually to make the delays less apparent.
And to be honest with you, putting the musical numbers at the beginning instead of the halftime, I think was actually better. I think people would have been more frustrated if there was the musical number in the middle. So I actually kind of preferred that because that was the plan.
Yeah.
That was the original plan. They changed that, and then I know the pre-show went a little long because they were having difficulties getting everything set up on the stage.
There were monitor issues. There was apparently some issues with lag that they figured out. But so there were definitely some logistical issues. That's part of why the delays occurred. But then so that kind of stuff is like, I understand as the viewer or somebody who's even there and you don't know what's going on, that's frustrating. I don't know that we really could have.
I really wish that we could, as the FGC, like, we've always been just kind of like out there. Like, I really just wish that they were like, oh, by the way, sorry, we're just talking a little bit longer. They're having some technical issues setting up. We're just going to keep talking. So don't worry, guys. We'll get started soon. Like, I would rather, I kind of hope the FGC adopts that mentality. Because I know when I commentate, there's always this thing that you're supposed to not break the illusion that, you know, all this stuff. But like, I'll just be like, blah, blah, blah. Oh, the guys are just sitting right next to us. They can hear us. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I like doing that kind of thing. You know what I mean? So I kind of hope that, like, that can continue forward in the FGC. We don't have to be like this crazy,
that's a good thought.
crazy, like, super professional. Oh, everything's running. Like, I wish that they just said, like, go ahead and tell the audience there's technical difficulties.
I think that's something that's doable in most tournaments, and that most TOs / rights holders or whatever stakeholders would allow it. I'm not sure this one would.
Yeah.
Right. But I agree with you that would have been great. I really would prefer to do that.
Right.
And then the musical acts happened, the dancing happened. You know, it's something that I wish didn't happen. I wish we didn't do that. I've always wished that. I think a lot of people have always wished that. It's always been confusing to us that there's a need that anybody sees to have it be more than about the video games. I don't know why. We're all there to watch and play video games. That's the reason.
Yeah.
So I wish that didn't occur. Some folks told Capcom's decision maker that they shouldn't do it.
I straight up was just talking to them. I was like,
you definitely did.
I was just like, let's not do this again. And I was like, the thing about it is, there are people there who appreciate the music. There were some people I saw on social media like, oh crap, Del the Homo sapien is there. I'm like super happy about that. That's so awesome, right? I mean, this guy who did freaking Clint Eastwood, you know, Gorillas, right? I mean, I love that song, and I like the Gorillas. I thought that was really cool. Yeah. But there's so many people there who don't care.
Yes.
And
they're just different audiences. It's cool if you enjoyed or if you like the group or whatever. But, like, go see a concert for them, right? Like, rather than having it here. So I think that kind of sucks. Like I said, so you weren't the only person. I wasn't the only person. People with more authority than us said that they shouldn't do it, but the person who had the most authority said that they should do it.
Right.
So that's what it came down to. Yeah. And I really hope that doesn't occur in the future.
Yeah.
But,
it hasn't ever been done in a way. Because I was even saying to some of the Capcom guys, I was like, okay, like at League, they had, you know, Imagine Dragons and nobody cared. And then I forgot which event it was that had DJ Khaled in there, and like that was everybody
Overwatch.
Made fun of that, right?
Yeah.
And I was
because it's dumb.
Right. It's just dumb. It's not. We don't have to do this. Like we're not. Because I mean, it's the exact same thing that I don't like about esports after parties too. It just feels like a bunch of people doing what they felt like they're supposed to do if they're cool.
Yes, for sure.
Right?
Absolutely for sure.
You know what I mean? It's like none of these, like, one of my favorite things was that Mike Z posted out a tweet that after the TGA Awards that you were at, he was like, Sonic Fox is hanging out with us playing Skullgirls instead of going to one of the after parties. This is what it is.
Was he?
Yeah, this is what the fighting game community wants to do. They just want to play games and have fun. These after party things are like, oh wait, this is what people with money and who are cool do. Look, quick, let's do this. You know, dance club.
Ever since I've been going to esports after parties, which the first one I went to was probably like in 2011, I've always felt that it was like a nerd's frat party.
Yeah, right?
Because it felt very much the same. I was in a frat back in the old college, but also simultaneously a mega nerd. So like I've seen both of these sides forever, and it was like the two just combined into this really weird mix. And now I think it's not just nerds who wish that they were in frats. It's also the frats are in esports. They took over a bunch of esports. I don't think that's happened yet in fighting games, but
and I'm not
I
saying
do think it's happened in Overwatch and League.
Keep in mind, I'm not saying that the FGC isn't cool. I'm saying everyone in esports isn't cool. Okay, get that straight.
Not it. I'm telling you, there's the cool kids that are making their inroads.
Yeah, I know, right?
So I wish that didn't happen. I wasn't watching either the musical act or the dance. We were preparing for the pregame show, so I didn't watch. But I've heard that it didn't sound that great. That's a bummer. I don't know what else to say. I mean, apparently the dude had an accident recently and wasn't up to it.
Again, like I said, he's a cool guy. He's good. I mean, the mix also was much better in-house than it was on stream, according to a lot of people. Because in-house, it didn't sound that terrible. Okay. But on stream, they said like his vocals were much louder than the music, and things just sounded really off and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. And then when it comes to the in-between breaks, where they had the DJs scratching, those breaks are going to happen anyway.
Right, so I didn't care about that one.
They were the same length that they've been happening the whole year. Now, it'd be nice if they were shorter, but
less frequent.
Yeah, of course. But that's a different question than having the DJs fill up the space during the break. I'm glad that they at least did something during those breaks rather than just having it.
For the people in-house.
Right. Well, and the people at home, too. So it's not just the screen where it's like, here's a tip about how to play fighting games.
The people at home were the ones that didn't get that Twitch ads, right? Because that
oh yeah, right. Well, yeah, everybody has that.
Yeah, for sure. And again, the biggest issue really comes down to just how many ads there were and how long the breaks were and everything like that. And I hope we do get that sorted out a little bit, because I did feel like there were too many breaks and the breaks were a little too long, because it was just literally 2 matches, break, 2 matches, break, 2 matches. And normally at a lot of the CPD events, whenever we do 2 matches, then a break, the first break is the short break. Yeah. And then the hour one is the long break, but it felt like this time it was like every one of them was the long break. So, I've been a viewer at home. I've watched tournaments before, and it is frustrating to have those kind of breaks. When you're there, it's freaking fantastic when you're one of the commentators, because you're just like, I get to drink, I get to run to the bathroom, we get to go run and grab food and and basically eat food in 5 minutes and stuff like that. It's wonderful, but like I understand when you're at home, it's not as fun.
So the other issue that I felt contributed to Capcom Cup feeling a little bit weird was that the Season 4 update happened in the middle of it. So we were watching, we were not commentating at the time, we were just hanging out and watching, and I started to see on Twitter that people were posting up a picture of this character. And I thought it was a joke at first.
Right.
I didn't think it was real. But then so many people were posting their own picture of it that I figured because it's real. And then you started to see changes. The Fang one of him flying was the first one that I saw. And then from then on, I was like half watching, not even. I'm not going to lie to you guys.
Right, yeah.
I was not watching Capcom Cup anymore, to be perfectly honest.
And we were there.
And it was actually my job to then do a post-game show. So I was like... part of my brain was trying to pay attention. And I kept taking these notes, right, about like what was going on. But what I was really doing was looking for the next update, pressing the old F5 on Twitter and looking for the next cool thing. So I can't have been the only one to be doing that. I feel like other people must have been doing that. We saw other people in the actual venue doing that. I'm sure it was happening a lot at home. And that's weird. That's weird. It's unfortunate that occurred for a couple of reasons, but one of them is that it definitely took away the focus from Capcom Cup itself.
How much do you want to bet someone in Japan is sitting there and they told them, don't release this until 10 p.m. And they were like, let's check the time in America right now. Oh, it's 10 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh,
release. How much you want to bet Because
sense.
it was almost like 3 hours or 2 hours right before.
That actually makes perfect sense.
I feel like that's actually what happened. I think whoever released it accidentally saw the wrong time zone. That's like that's my theory.
It fits too perfectly.
That's my theory.
Because it really was 3 hours in advance.
Yeah, They just saw the wrong time zone and were like, flip the switch, and then that was it. And yeah, that definitely robbed a lot. And I would have loved to have seen the audience reaction had they not known about it.
Yeah, because it's cool.
Yeah, and shout outs to Ono for trying to play it off a little bit, But yeah,
it's a cool announcement. All things aside, that it actually didn't work out. The character, one thing, but the fact that it's out right now.
Yeah, and
go
again,
play it right. That's a cool announcement if they had been able to make it.
Right, and another thing is there was no delay for top 8 because no matter what, it was going to end at that time. Remember, they moved the halftime to the pre-time. So had we started at 1, like they said that they were going to, we would have played it. Then we would have had the halftime musical stuff, and so the end would have ended at the exact same time. Yeah. So that's definitely not. It wasn't the delay that caused that thing because there technically was no delay by the end. We ended exactly on time, like literally exactly what we thought we were going to end. So.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I felt that kind of took things down a little bit.
Yeah.
It also.
We could have all been in. Yeah, I'm online. Why?
What?
Wait, did you just ask if I was online?
No.
Oh, I thought you said, "Are you online?" Oh, okay. No, I just thought it would have been cool if we could have all saw Kage revealed and all think to ourselves, those horns and fangs look ridiculous at the same time. At the same time, right? I mean, instead of looking at it and being like, is this a Photoshop?
Dude, I saw Ruin talking about it today, and he says that he thinks Kage has Fred Flintstone kicks. That's not like what does that even mean? But something about that phrase just is like so like perfect to me.
Yeah,
it really illustrates it.
Oh man!
By the way, what's with people misunderstanding what I'm saying on the mic? I think I'm very clear. I did listen back. It sounded just like I was saying "big Canadian cock."
It did.
It really did.
I mean,
okay.
So I was there. I was the first time. I was there the first time you heard it replayed. And you doubled over in just like giggling laughter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was it was undeniable.
Canadian. And the best part about it is someone said what makes it funny is that I just kind of chuckle afterwards. Yeah. So it sounds like I'm trying to play it off.
I'm not making a big joke. I'm just saying.
Right, yeah. I mean, I clearly heard Carr in person, and so I didn't go like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I clearly heard the right thing, but the fact that I had no reaction like kind of made it even that much sillier. So, the big Canadian Caucasian.
That was Jackie's idea.
Yeah, It's pretty brilliant.
She was trying to think about like what to say. Yeah, she wanted to say Big Canadian Caucus when we were having the after game show, post game show.
She had a lot of good wordplay there.
She did. She definitely did.
Very, really impressed.
Yeah, she came up with a bunch on the fly.
Dude, that
caucus.
The gotcha coon one. Yeah. Kind of. I was like. Oh dang!
Yeah. She had a bunch of good ones.
I was kind of impressed.
For sure. Yeah.
These puns. Is it getting warm in here? All right, I'll stop. David doesn't like me talking about fetishes and stuff like that.
I just don't get it. That's all.
Channel, so okay. Anyways.
Hey, it was her idea, Vicious. Or maybe it was my idea, but she came up with the phrasing. It was something like that. There was some combination there. Yeah. She's hilarious. For sure. Anything else to say about Capcom Cup?
I mean, there was a lot of other things, right? Didn't you have anything else there?
Oh, the viewership was not as high as maybe could be expected. But then I also saw that it was substantially over 100,000.
Oh, it was?
If you include all of the sources.
Okay.
But they... in the last year, they have split it up, so it's not just Twitch, it's also YouTube, and it was on OpenRec, and it was on Facebook, and if you include all the things, then it was still pretty good viewership. But I wonder if, certain things contributed to it not being super high. One was that there wasn't a Daigo or a Tokido or like a recognizable... If you're not somebody who's deep into the scene, you may not have the player to like pull you in that matters. I wonder too if, because I probably would have done this, if you were at home and you saw Season 4 was up, wouldn't you just go play?
I mean, you would probably leave it on.
I'd probably leave it on.
Someone actually did an analysis, and the viewer count didn't drop significantly once the patch dropped, because I think most people just left it on and probably ran and turned on the Street Fighter 4 on the other window, kind of thing.
So about Justin, I think that Justin does have a draw in name value. I think that is true. Mm-hmm. However, I also think that his play style probably does not have a draw.
Yeah.
So that once people got on there and there was a very slow playing Menat, like even against Itazan, he timed it out a couple of times. Even Itazan won a run by timing it out. Mm-hmm. So that, although I think that's super sick, I really enjoyed that. I can understand maybe that some other people did not. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah, and I would imagine after all of Problem X was eliminated, maybe some of the EU players just went to sleep at that point in time, because it's late for them, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of factors that could have contributed to it. But I do agree that had Tokido or Daigo been making a deep run, it probably would have been
I think that does make a difference.
Yeah.
Because I've talked with a couple of friends who they follow video games and esports, but they're not way into fighting games. Mm-hmm. And they did mention to me that they are big Daigo fans.
Yeah.
And that they... that was part of why they weren't as interested.
Even the first season when Ricky Ortiz made it out there, Ricky Ortiz is one of the most popular players in all of the FGC.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. But like I said, after I put this on here in a little to-do list, I read that it wasn't as low as Twitch alone numbers would have you think.
Okay,
so,
cool.
Which is good.
Okay.
Yeah, who doesn't like Itazan? I don't know. I think he's super cool.
He's
just having a blast the whole time.
Just having so much
fun. He's having a blast.
He
had a blast in $100,000 money match, which is what the second set of Grand Finals was.
And honestly, I wanted to ask him that question too. I just want to be like, why are you so happy all the time? How are you so happy?
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm allergic to Itazan, I guess. Ooh.
Well, Escapee, I don't know that I think that having those players in there would have drastically increased the numbers, but I would expect that it would have increased the numbers too a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think that does. I think that's not zero. I think that matters a little bit. Anything else to say about Capcom Cup, or are we about done about this guy?
I guess we can move on at this point in time. So, unless I think of something else, but let's just go.
Let's do it. So, do you want to talk about the patch notes? This SF5 Season 4?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about that, and then we'll take a break.
All right, cool.
Let's keep all the Street Fighter 5 going right now at this point. So,
have you had a chance to to look through them or to test any of it out?
Read the patch notes. I have not played it yet. I tried earlier today, and it was about 2 hours of downloads, and I was just
really?
It's so dumb. I don't know. I think one of them might have been a PlayStation update or something. I don't know. Wow. It's probably done. My PlayStation's literally on right now, trying to download everything. So, but yeah, that was kind of annoying. But welcome to modern gaming kind of thing. So, but I've read through the patch notes, and I have to say that of all the season transitions, I feel like this might be kind of the most informed.
Yeah.
Of the changes. The other ones literally just felt like, why did you change this? Or throwing spaghetti at the wall and see which ones stick kind of thing. I feel like this one was the most informed, although there are still 3 characters that I'm not sure what's going on there.
Okay.
Absolutely. But overall, I like what I'm seeing. I feel like a lot of the bad characters and unplayed characters got buffed in really cool, interesting ways. I think the top tier didn't get overly nerfed. I feel like they got nerfed to a point where they're probably a little more fair, and that the hardcore people can still have success with them. No more Cammy bandwagon. I actually don't. Everyone's talking about Cammy the Cammy mains are all and I read it and I was like, this doesn't even seem bad.
It's fine.
They didn't nerf the things that I would have nerfed that would have been worse for her. You know what I mean? I said 3-bar V trigger 1. You know what I mean? I said all sorts of things that I felt like would have made her worse. And they didn't. Standing strong, for example. If you were going to nerf one of the buttons, I thought standing strong would be the button that would get nerfed for Cammy, because that's the broken button in my opinion. They didn't nerf that button at all. So I'm actually okay with what happened, and I think she's fine now. And I think the like Verloren will probably still play her, CJ Truth will still play her, and they'll still have success. And so I feel like the top tier characters didn't get nerfed that badly. In fact, Guile even got some cool little buffs as well. That's true. So I really like the way it went overall. I think the armor change is really interesting. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of it, but like I think overall.
So now you die if you armor through something and you have no life left, rather than just being on no life still, you will actually lose.
Right, and armor takes half damage now.
Yeah.
So Zangief, although he can die, he can absorb way more things now than he could before. So I don't think it's I actually like the changes so far. I was surprised reading it, and some of the changes, like
I think that's just stun.
Wait, what do you mean?
The 50%?
Oh, is it?
I believe it's just stun.
But you never got stunned on those, did you?
If you get hit during that time, you don't get stunned, but you take the stun bar. If that makes sense, and the next day you get stunned.
Oh, okay. No, because everyone was telling me that's why Zangief's nerf wasn't that bad. That's what everybody was telling me on Twitter. They were like, oh, Zangief's thing is not that bad that he dies there because he takes half damage now. I don't know if that's not the case then. If that's the case, everybody was lying to me.
Yeah, it says moves with armor. Stun values for opponent attacks that are absorbed by the armor state have been reduced from 100% to 50%.
So Home Effin says it's 50% life. If it was 50% life, it's a typo, I guess. They say specifically in the dev notes.
Oh, okay.
So there you go.
I'm definitely gonna test this when I get home.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay. Yeah, if that is damage, then that's big for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you mentioned characters you think it weren't maybe helped us enough?
Yeah, so the characters that I felt like I feel like could have been, like I expected more.
Okay.
Was I really thought Sagat's EX Tiger Knee was going to be better. They didn't change it at all. I just thought it was going to be more safe on block at any range. Because I just really felt like he needed that. They said they improved his standing light punch to hit crouchers at a little further range, which might have helped a lot because that's what he was missing. But I don't know. Jury, I was surprised she barely got changed. Like, barely.
Yeah, Jury's a little funky, yeah.
Especially V-Trigger 2 with how acid is, right? Like, they gave her a new cancel ability once she activates it, but I was like, right? Ryu, I thought could have gotten a few more buffs, although some people are saying he's actually better.
Well, he is. I mean, clearly he's going to be better.
But I just don't think he's better enough.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
And then,
I think he'll be okay, but not great.
And the biggest question mark of them all is Ken.
Ken is a very weird case.
The way that I tweeted it was, I feel like Ken kicked somebody's puppy who worked at Capcom, and this was their revenge.
It's weird. Why would they nerf him?
It
was a few things, too. It wasn't just one.
The conspiracy theories in my head just roll around and just being like, this will tell those Ken players to shut the hell up. Because they were definitely the loudest ones. And so I feel like maybe this was just like them needling them, maybe. I don't know. Because it just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Kind of nerfs that he has.
Before we went on the air with the post-game show, Logan had just found out that Ken got his butt kicked. And he was kind of surly before before we actually got on the air. we're all joking around and stuff, and I forget what it even was, but like he didn't want to joke around about something, and he just kind of shut it down. And we were like, but he had like just found out. And I remember when I found out that Zangief died, that was a bummer.
Right,
like, it's definitely a bummer. So, yeah, no, I don't understand it with Ken. I think that's a very weird case. They'll just move on, right? Like, if you're a Ken player, you're just not going to play him next season.
You just have to
let him recuperate for a year.
Because he got nothing. He literally got nothing. His Thunder Kick was made worse.
Thunder Kick was worse. Stand Roundhouse is worse. EX Air Tatsu is worse. Already, it was never used.
Right. The regular Tatsu, they said that they wanted to make it so you could crush counter fierce into the Tatsu combo a little bit easier. So they nerfed the hitbox, and they're like, that didn't affect any other combos. It definitely
did. It?
Oh, yeah. Big Bird put up a video that was, confirmed, like low strong, stand strong, delayed fierce into Tatsu, and the Tatsu just whiffed.
No.
And they just pushed the laptop away, and they were like, and you could hear them laugh and the video stops. So yeah, definitely nerfed one.
It was also Back Strong Fierce, right? They got nerfed. There was something in there as well.
I can't remember. I don't know why they did that to poor Ken.
Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Yeah.
But there were a few things. I'm looking at the patch notes now. So that's very weird. I don't understand that. But last season and the season before that, there were changes that I thought were more curious. They definitely screwed up on Ken, but in the past, I felt like they screwed up on more characters.
Yeah.
So,
Cause
improvement?
I'll tell you this right now. I think Feng, I think Vega, I think Alex.
Alex is on the up.
Like those three, I think they did it. Sakura looks going to be really good, and like you said, now we're going to have to watch her animations more. Yeah, dude, I'm actually kind of hyped about Falk now.
Okay.
Like part of my brain, like I don't know why. Like I made a Falk for Soulcalibur and stuff, and I've been kind of interested in her in Street Fighter V. And I couldn't figure out why, and I realized it's my low tier hero thing coming back.
Oh no!
It's that thing.
It's been in remission for so long.
So I'm just like, I kind of want to learn Falk to see if I can make her work, but I think she might actually be good this season.
Yeah, she got buffed.
Dude, you can find it. I was doing one of those things where I had my viewers play, and I was analyzing their fights after one of them was using Falk. And they were trying too much of this far range zoning thing, and I was like, you got to do mid-screen zoning with her, right? And I was like, man, if only stand medium kick into fireball was 0 on block. Just not -3. If only it was 0 on block. And then I looked at the patch notes, +2. And I was like, what? Now, granted, it starts up slower, so it might not be a true block string anymore, but still, I was like, holy crap, +2. I feel like she might be really annoying. Someone is going to be able to take that character and make her like blisteringly annoying, in my opinion.
I already felt like she wasn't one of the bottom tier characters. Not great, but not terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, she got some nice work done. That's for sure. I really like the Alex buffs. I think they're cool because they found a way to make use of his interesting side, actually being able to use the V skill. That is very cool. It's cool because it gives you better combos, obviously. That it's very useful in some setups. It also means that you're going to have more V-trigger, and he has a cool V-trigger, right? So at least you'll be able to see that a little bit more often. Dude, I like a lot of that.
And they calculated it just like G when he juggles you in the corner and does the presidentiality. Yeah. It's perfect. It's frame kill. And so just like Alex, he can do like EX flash chop, and I'm all warmed up and perfect timing into strong. Like.
Yep.
They calculated it well. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of really cool things they did with him. I will be honest, I've always been scared of Alex. I am freaking terrified of this character now. I don't think he's going to be top. I don't think any of those characters got buffed are going to be top tier, but I won't be surprised to have that guy play the character and just make you hate the existence of that character.
Problemax already said he's going to pick him back up.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Alex?
Dang. He played him in season 1 whenever he was launched. Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Just looking at the characters here.
Thank you for making Akuma EX Demon Flip Slide -2.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
That one was silly.
Yeah. I think Blanca looks like he's a big contender. I've been talking with Callisto about Sakura, and he is excited for the buffs. Yeah. He says that it's not the most interesting or unique way to buff her, but that she'll definitely be strong. So I think that's cool. I like that they tightened up some of Zeku's stuff. I think personally that the Abigail nerfs are A-okay. I'm not concerned for that character being bad. I thought that he was, in somewhere in the top 10. In the low top 10, but in the top 10. And some of his stuff was kind of abusive. It's not just that he was strong, but like he just got to do things that few other characters did. Now I'm cool with that variety, but I'm also cool with Back Fierce being like a little bit more whiff punishable. Stand Fierce is a little bit more whiff punishable. Giant Flip, you have to actually flummox somebody before you use it now rather than just going to it more often. Those don't make those tools bad.
Right.
They're still good tools. Yeah. There's still definitely good tools. You'll build less V meter. You'll build less V trigger on crush counters because he's great at that. He is fantastic at crush countering. Does he need to also have a 2-bar V trigger? That's one of the best in the game.
Right.
I don't think so. So I'm fine with it. I still think he's going to be a good character. I'm not gonna, and at the same time, some of the characters that gave him a tough time were nerfed. So I think that he's in not concerned.
Right. Well, let me ask you this one. This is the key question. Zangief. What do you think about Zangief at this point?
I mean, he's a little bit better, but the most significant buff to me is that Lariat, if hit at a very specific spot, will give him a very nice knockdown situation. He'll be able to do dash up, and if they back roll, he can do crouching jab, and it'll beat 3-framers.
Right.
Now, if they could do a quick rise, they'll be able to beat him, right? So it's a little mix-up there, but that's fine. That's on a very specific spot of Lariat. So crouching strong, stand short, Lariat will give you that spot. Crouching short, jab, Lariat does not. Crouching jab at any range I tested, did not give me that knockdown.
Right.
Even if you do forward fierce into stand short Lariat, that doesn't give it to you unless you do walk. Stand fierce, walk for a frame or two, then stand short. So it's super, super specific, which means that in punishes, he'll be able to get that. In some frame trap situations, he'll be able to get that. But it's not going to be like a consistent thing.
It's going to be scarier to jump at him now. Because if he lariats you out of the air, it's going to be that frame.
Well, it's not always that frame. It's like specifically active frame 9 through 11.
Oh, so there's actually so there's an earlier active frame that can hit.
That's why crouching jab into it doesn't work.
Okay, because it hits too early.
It hits too early.
Interesting.
So you can't count on it for anti-air. But there is a tell if you see that he hits the lariat while he's facing you. And by the way, not just even that he's facing you, but that he's facing you and also like his arms are kind of up.
Curly W, I'll tell you, time zones are definitely weird. Shout outs to Japan. So anyways.
So I'm not... he's better, but it's like not by a lot. Not by a lot. I also don't put much stock in the fact that he can do V-skill absorb backdash. It's not like he can do V-skill absorb backdash. It's V-skill absorb backdash.
And it's not like he has an invincible backdash.
It takes a long time. So it's going to be something that will be used in very particular situations. I don't really know when I'll use that rather than just like V-skill, let it go, punish with SPD. Like, I don't know how many times that's going to come up. He's a little bit better. Whatever.
How do you feel like Menat got nerfed?
I wish that they hadn't done 3-bar V-trigger.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned
I really
that.
do.
I think that was the overall right choice for what they want. Yes, you're right. I do agree that it's a shame. It's less fun. You don't get the cool factor, the Sako factors, going in there. Maybe make the timer a little shorter for her or something like that, or maybe kind of nerf. So the interesting way that the orbs work in damage scaling is that if the orbs hit successively, the scaling doesn't go. If you ever do buttons in between, then every orb lowers it, right? So maybe you could just make it so that every orb lowers the scaling no matter what. That's why sometimes it's better to do like the setup where you do strong orb, jump fierce, orb, because you get less scaling on each orb that way. It's only when you do a move in between that creates the scaling. That's why that combo does more damage than just doing hit orb, recall, hit orb, recall. Like if you do the back and forth, that does less damage because you scale all the orbs. So maybe if they just made it so that all the orbs scaled no matter what, so it would just do less damage, but keep her interesting.
That ship has sailed apparently. For folks asking in the chat, I didn't want the 3 bars just because, as we were saying, I just think it's such a fun V-trigger. It's super interesting. It's creative. You get to have fun. I would rather have her nerfed in other ways. She got a couple other nerfs, but if she's going to get nerfed, which she probably did need, then other stuff, not the fun stuff. It doesn't. It's Tanya syndrome. She's still there, but
it's Tanya syndrome. In Mortal Kombat XL or X, I wanted Tanya to be super interesting in the air, and then they nerfed all the air stuff, and then just made all the ground stuff the same. For sure.
So, it's not gone, but you won't see it twice around, which I thought was kind of cool. But oh well, she's definitely nerfed and probably in a good spot tier wise. I think that's okay. I think Colleen is going to be pretty strong. Looking forward to that.
I like some of the buffs that Karin got. Karen got some stuff. I'm really interested to see how Vega's going to go now.
Vega, I think, does seem stronger. And you already had somebody like Doomsnake who was getting top 3s, even winning a couple of things, even though he was bad. So I think that's nice. I doubt that those are like real matchup saving things for him. But so it's more that he can kind of snowball once he gets in a little bit better. Right? Some of his combos are more damaging. He gets plus frames a little bit better than before. I'm not sure that was the problem, but I mean, it's one of the problems, for sure. But I'm not sure that was the only one. Better, but probably not great.
Dude, it's funny because the two characters that are changing characters here, but two characters that have always had a weird problem. I always said the Laura nerf to 3 bars was a problem for her because she could not land her V skill. It was too risky to use, and there was no combo for it. Bison had that same problem with his V-Trigger 1 because he never had any way to build it. They fixed both of those. This is what I mean by I felt like it was a very thoughtful change. Like they actually just said, you know what, the biggest problem with Bison is he can't build his V-Trigger, so let's make his V-skill better. And they gave Laura a target combo that pops him up in the air that cancels into it so he can build up, so she can build up V-skill as well, so V-gauge as well. So again, that's what I meant. Like I wouldn't have expected him to go that route. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and I was really happy about that. So
I'm excited for Fang. The fly is cool because there's some cool, very obvious tricks out of that. But I feel actually that the crouching jab comboing into sleeve may be more important.
But the sleeve doesn't knock down anymore, right?
It does not. It does not. But you can activate into V-Trigger 2 off of crouching short, crouching jab sleeve, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's probably a little bit more important. But yeah, the extra mix-ups as well, they're great. Like, it's not like he lacked mix-ups, right? So it's good and cool looking.
I want to see how Bison's V-Trigger acts as an anti-air. I want to see how fast it is. Can you punch people out of the air with that if you absorb a jump attack? I'm really curious about that. I don't think so,
but I'm not sure either. I think he's going to be a very strong character. I'm excited to see some of the Dhalsim tech. I have seen some of the Dhalsim tech, and it's pretty cool. They're doing some cool stuff with that EX Flame launch into Jump Strong, into mix-ups. There's going to be some cool stuff. I think Guile's okay. A little bit worse. In the mid-range, they did change Sobat to be a little bit worse.
Almost exactly,
which is exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
So he's a little bit less mobile now. He's still good right up close. He's still strong defensively, but he can't convert between those two quite as well, that's fine.
Exactly.
I think that's pretty smart.
Sagat, like I said, I'm sad. I feel like he could have gotten better, but
I think he's good. I'm excited for Sagat. I think that they gave him like well-targeted buffs. Okay. A little bit more damage, a little bit more stuff at just like the tiniest bit, like stand jab.
I hope the stand jab works better because that was definitely the weakest part of for him. Cody, I was surprised at the kind of buffs that he got. Like, dude, the knife. I was talking to Olaf a little bit, and he's telling me that the knife is ridiculous good now.
Yeah.
It doesn't use as much meter, and he has a lot of juggle. So his all of the standing punches with the knife have juggle points on them now. So he can hit you out of the air on juggles that air resets you. They don't even knock you down. So he has setups into meaties that you can't quick rise back roller where they're guaranteed setups every time. So he was like, you can do target combo V-trigger, juggle him out of the air with the knife, and then have a setup and stuff like that. So the knife might actually be really cool.
I'm still not so sure about Cody. I don't feel that he's a bad character, but I do think that he's underwhelming still.
I mean, I never thought he was bad in the first place. So, so the fact that he got mostly buffs, I think is good.
I think maybe he could have used a little bit more myself, but I do think that he's in a better place at least. So I think that's all right at a minimum.
What about G?
G, I think, is good. I didn't want them to buff him, really. In fact, I would have been okay with like some slight offensive nerfs in favor of more defense, but they just gave him more life anyway and didn't nerf the offense. Right. In fact, they also buffed a couple of his offensive tools. They said something crazy like that he can't get plus frames, or I forget what the phrasing was, but like they said that he couldn't.
Notes? Yeah,
the dev notes, that he like couldn't get the offense that he needed, and I was like, what are you talking about? That's crazy. So I think he's really good. I already thought he was good, but I think he's going to be strong.
Look,
for sure.
I feel like the patch is going to increase the character variety by a lot. And having said that, we just talked about Capcom Cup, where the variety was pretty freaking good already. So I don't even really think we're in a situation where the character variety was bad as it was. But I feel like we're going to see a much bigger character variety in Season 4. That makes me happy. Having said that, I am sad that there was no big shakeup. And I know you said, we just don't live in that time anymore because that Street Fighter 4 never got a really big shakeup.
Yep.
Like W Ultra Red Focus was like the craziest thing they implemented. Right?
And not very crazy.
Right, and not very crazy overall. And so, yeah, you're right. And it does make me sad because I know from Alpha 1 to Alpha 2, Alpha 2 to Alpha 3, CVS 1 to CVS 2, they didn't take 4 years, and they were really big shakeups.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
Those days are gone.
probably not going to happen. So
yeah. Oh, Chun-Li. Yeah, she got some buffs, right? She does some more damage.
she just has and cooler combos too.
And cooler
just
combos,
like fun
okay.
combos now. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's fine. She already seemed pretty good to me, so I don't know. That is cool, I suppose.
See, I don't think that's actually going to be the case anymore, Rio. I really feel like the top players are going to spread around a little bit more.
I expect there to always be a bandwagon character.
Right, and I feel like the biggest chance of that right now might be Kage, but...
Kage. Well, let's talk about him in a little bit.
Sure.
I think that it might be Bison. I think it might be Bison. I think it might be Colleen as well. I think it's going to be somebody. It's not going to be nobody.
It's going to be Alex.
Well, look, I think if you want to play the grappler type archetype, that he might be the strongest one. So, although he's kind of not a pure grappler, Zangief style, but it is an important part of his game. If that's what you want to do, that might be a big deal.
Carrot, huh? Some people are saying carrot.
Maybe.
You saw that she can frame trap you off of her backdash off the
I did see that.
I
did see that.
It
It is pretty cool, actually.
I was like, ooh. Yeah. And I kind of like that because it gives a little more variety on that one. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, a little bit more to do.
I mean, I just want the game to be more...
Ibuki seems strong still,
I just want the game to be wild. I want more wild stuff in this game. And so if they could do crazy wild things, then let's do it. So...
You know, I didn't think about Mika. I guess, didn't she get nerfed?
Nothing changed.
I thought she got a couple... EX Shooting Peaches were something. Okay, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Right. Like, literally nothing changed for her. I was surprised that nothing changed for her.
Yeah. She did get maybe buffed in the sense that a couple of tough matchups were nerfed. But, yeah, okay. I can see her being more... I don't know that anybody's going to pick her up more. Like, there's always just been a few Mika players, and they're just Evo quality winning players. So they do well. Right. But there's not that many more. Right. Even when she was great, even in Season 1, there weren't that many.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Paul B. I think Cammy is still going to be pretty good. I don't think she's going to really...
I just don't... I'm not sure that there will be bandwagoners in the same way.
Right. I don't think we're going to have 7 Cammys in Capcom Cup because everybody's playing her because she's really good.
Yeah.
I'm just glad now we'll have the Cammy specialists doing well with Cammy. Like I said, I think Xiao Hai, if he sticks with the character, Xiao Hai tends to jump around with whatever's the strongest, right?
He'll play Kage.
If Verloren and CJ Truth stick with Cammy, like they're gonna do just fine.
Yeah, I agree with you. Right. Yeah, K-Brad is also happy about it.
Right.
Like he was happy about it. Because he doesn't want to play the bandwagon character, but he wants to play Cammy, so he was like, perfect.
Kenneth Bradley.
Yeah.
A man after my own heart.
Yeah.
A man after I mean, I will tell you, that happens to me in every fighting game.
I know the feeling.
Every time my character gets popular, I just don't want to play that character anymore.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anything else to say about these casts, or you want to talk about Kage?
Let's talk about Kage.
Kage.
I haven't messed with him. I've heard he seems really freaking good.
He is clearly a good character.
Yeah.
There's like no maybes about it. He's a very good character. He has good move speed. He has good buttons. He's got some important plus frames. He also has axe kick, which the roundhouse one is plus 2 or 3, I forget offhand, but it's plus frames. He has, like I was messing around with him with Callisto Sunday night. And we found good combos like instantly.
Yeah.
Like it was just very clear like what kind of good combos you can do. And I'm sure there's going to be more cool stuff found. I also really like both of his V-triggers. They're both interesting. The first one is the one that gives him the teleport, and off any button, including any special move, you can do it. So you can do things like red fireball teleport, which gets you an advantage situation, which is nice. You can do dragon punch teleport backwards, which is minus 14. But that's not enough for characters to dash up and punish. They'll need something like Cammy Drill.
Right, yeah.
So in most matchups, you're going to be effectively safe, which is great. So that might actually be one of the best defensive tools in the game. So I can see that just already being important. I mean, there's also some cool stuff like that you can do. So you can do it in the air as well, and you can actually do it out of jump strong. So you can do things like we found jump air tatsu, teleport forward, jump medium kick is a cross up, but a second tatsu hits from the front. So it's just, people will find these kind of... And that's like Ken Run, where it's like not actually real,
but it'll happen.
It's going to happen, yeah.
Well, I mean, the interesting thing, and again, like I said, Olaf got a chance to try him a lot, and I've been talking to him about it a little bit. He also noted that because the Air Tatsu, EX Tatsu, is a wall bounces don't let you back roll in this game. So instead of juggling people after you EX wall bounce them, if you let them drop, you're going to have some good setups off of that. So you're sacrificing damage for the setup afterwards. So, I mean, what's interesting to me mostly about Kage from what I've seen is it really feels like they're bringing Street Fighter 4 into Street Fighter 5 a little bit. I feel like they're just like, all right, look, all you Street Fighter 4 guys, here's a character for you guys. Because
he has focus.
He has the Crossup Tatsu.
Yeah.
Right? He's got Uppercut FADC. He's got a lot of like very Street Fighter 4. He's got these crazy link combos. Yeah. Granted, it'll never
They're
be
hard. They're easy.
Right. They'll never be hard because the 3-frame buffer. But now everybody can do them and stuff like that. And he's got these really crazy combos. So I just feel like dude, you see Desk's combo video? He comboed off of a V reversal.
Oh, I didn't see it.
The V reversal, well, it was so specific.
Yeah, well,
it was
for sure.
On Dhalsim slide, so that the V reversal hit at the latest frame possible, and he was able to combo off of it. But then he can combo off of there was something else. Oh, his overhead. He has meaty overhead.
Big meaty, yeah.
So he's got a lot of like.
That V skill with the absorb is kind of cool. Armor, and then it's was that Akuma focus attack that it looks like? I think so. It's been so long since I've seen that game. But it looks like that to me, and you can also combo into it, so you can do things like forward fierce roundhouse into V skill, which seems useful. You can build some meter. And V Trigger 1 is only 2 bars, which is cool. V Trigger 2 is the stomp, which you can cancel at the end of whatever as well.
Only stomp basically, but
or like KKZ, from
Akuma.
Yeah, and it's definitely useful because it gives you hard knockdown, and everybody instantly found good setups like after it. Like Callisto and I found good setups.
Apparently sweep into it works, right? So
anything.
But I mean it juggles. It's not like the sweep causes them to be invincible like
I see what you mean. Does it OTG maybe? Or?
No, it just hits them out of the air.
Okay, interesting.
So that's what Olaf was telling me. So I mean, from a character artwork perspective, like I think he looks silly.
It does OTG, okay.
Yeah, I think he looks really silly. I think he looks
for
kind
sure.
of dumb, to be honest with you. But I like lore-wise, this weird kind of like this is the Oni version of evil Ryu kind of thing.
So the lore that I read was that Ryu ditched the Satsui no Hado.
Right.
And then the Satsui no Hado itself manifested as a physical form.
Right.
And now it's trying to convince Ryu that Ryu needs it.
Right, so he's going up to Ryu and going, we are Venom. I mean, we are Kage, right? Basically, right? Yes. So, okay.
That's what I read.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true, but whatever. Yeah, so I think gameplay-wise, he seems effective. I'm a little disappointed because I think his gameplay is pretty standard Street Fighter V. So I like that he's evil Ryu, obviously, but his fireball, his regular fireball, goes nowhere. It's a Dan fireball. And I think that's good because that means that he's not just an obvious replacement for Ryu, right? He has the red fireball, but it's not the same speed. So, I like that. I think that's good. But his gameplay is so very obviously just... here's what it is.
Yeah.
And there are tricks. V-Trigger 1 and 2 are going to have tricks, for sure.
Oh, yeah, and
there are already incendiary Tatsu, cross-ups. There's also tricks. But the core of the gameplay is so obviously here it is. So that's a little disappointing to me, especially after characters that came out in Season 3, like G and Falk and, Zeku before that, Blanca even, the way that they did him in this game. A little disappointing, but I guess the boring people have to have characters too, so that's fine.
Well, so kind of advancing the conversation a little bit, though. The interesting thing is there was no Season 4 other characters announced.
Yeah.
There was no Season 4 pass announced. And so right now, to get Kage, you just have to use fight money or buy him separately.
Yeah.
And it was very weird. Some people were theorizing that there were just going to be maybe one more character to fill out that other spot on the select screen, and that was going to be, there's only going to be 2 characters this season. But then someone on Twitter hit us up and was like, doesn't it feel like they're setting this whole thing up for free-to-play?
Yeah.
They had a free-to-play weekend just recently. They've added ads into the game. They haven't announced anything about a season pass. What if they were like Season 4, Street Fighter becomes free, but you can't play every character? They have enough characters now that actually can make a difference instead of having just the 16 characters, right? Which is like every 2 months you've cycled through them all again. You know what I mean? Yep. Maybe they're actually going to try a complete free-to-play model on this.
Maybe. I saw the same tweet, and it seems to be plausible. There are always rumors that the game was intended to be free-to-play from launch.
That Japan was scared to do it.
Right, exactly. And there was the ability to have some characters be selectable and some not. I forget what the situation was that proved that, but there was some event or glitch that happened.
Yeah, Mika disappeared from the character select screen at one point in time. She just disappeared. So obviously on the server side, they can shut down who's available to be picked. Right? So if it's free to play and you go in there, you'll see 2 characters and nobody else. And those are the only 2 characters. Or maybe everybody will be grayed out or something like that.
Right.
And they can obviously affect it from the server side. So I feel like from a free-to-play model, that was a perfect setup for that, right? And if that's the case, maybe...
I think it's cool.
Okay, so that's what I was about to ask.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So you do think it's a cool idea then,
I do think it's a cool idea. Yeah, I don't know how successful it will be in year 4 of the game.
Right.
But maybe a little bit. And it's nice. And maybe even more importantly, if there's a Street Fighter 6, maybe it will launch. Maybe this is a test, and they want to see how it goes. And the next game, hopefully from the start,
will be free to play.
Will be free to play. Yeah, I could see it being useful.
Because remember, they also introduced Menat's loot boxes, and they're really going hard with the fight money. They're really trying to set up the fight money stuff, right? Because that's what the ads are for.
Yes, but there's a max to it, right? How much FM you can get.
But you can get like 12 fight money per match that you play.
Literally
to help
12.
buy a $70,000 stage.
Yeah. I saw the guys on Best of 5 talking about it, and it's a good point. That's such a specific number that they must have game planned around. Like that, there must be some calculation that led to that. Right. And I think that's very strange. But yeah, they're at least doing something with the fight money, and I could see there being free to play. I don't know. I mean, that's the kind of thing that, I don't know what speculation is very useful for. Like, what do you get out of that? Speculating. But, yeah, could be.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like free-to-play would be a terrible thing? Or do you think...
I don't think it would be a terrible thing at all. I think it could be useful.
I mean, to be honest with you, free-to-play, if we're used to the model that we're already at, they're probably just going to let you do that, right? You technically become the whale. You would buy the game, you would download the game for free, and then just let me buy all the characters. If Street Fighter 6 was like this, you would pay $60 for all the characters.
Well, it's like Killer Instinct, right?
So even if you don't like the free-to-play model, there's going to be ways to make it so that it's not free-to-play.
I think Kage did a great. You could buy all the characters at once if you wanted. Mm-hmm. If not, you didn't need to.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's cool.
All right. Yeah, and KI's lack of success had nothing to do with the free-to-play model. It was 100% because it was on the Xbox One.
For sure. In fact, even when it was on the Xbox One and then when it was on PC, it had a lot of users. It had millions of users. It was not a question of lack of users.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't think it would be a terrible thing, personally. I know some people are very, very against it. Some of my friends who are my age, they just hate that kind of concept.
I was literally going to ask if that's
what
it is.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people are just like, I can't deal with... And, it's weird because even at my age, I should be one of those guys, but I totally get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it because...
It's just so successful for other games.
Yeah, and plus another thing, too, is like, I can't even be that crotchety about it because I think back to the days where I was buying Final Fantasy III for $80. $79.99 Super Nintendo cartridge back in like...
That was $92, man.
Yeah, that was in 1992. That's like a freaking $120 game right now or something like that, dude.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
People are like... I did the calculation once. It was something ridiculous. Okay. It was like $110 or something like that. Yeah, with inflation. Like, seriously, like, I can't even be mad about it. And I don't know. I guess also I'm always more sympathetic because I know I have too many friends in the industry. And I understand how hard it is. Like, they don't realize, because the cost of making games is stupid now. Mm-hmm. Like, honestly, to fix this problem is stop making these games. Like, you don't have to make every video game a freaking cinematic masterpiece, hiring gigantic orchestras and stuff like that, right? And doing all these crazy things. And
not everyone, but there are some games that's their shtick.
Yeah. So anyways, I could probably yell about that for a while.
Yeah, we definitely have done that. Yeah.
But I mean, if Street Fighter goes to free to play, I think that would be kind of interesting.
Me too. I would support that.
Yeah.
Assuming it's done well. Maybe not a great assumption that it would be done well.
Dude, microchips were super expensive.
But if it's done well, then it would be really nice.
Agreed.
Also, they should probably do something about the way that the ads show up on the characters. They look terrible.
Hey, King9999, I see you in the chat. Did you actually respond to my private message? I just want to make sure. Sorry for the side note there. So.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe they'll pull
cool.
a Sakura Animations version of free to play. It could suck, but if they do it well, it'd be nice.
Okay. I mean, look, Kage already isn't as terrible as Sakura. Like, I feel like they animated...
Looking, you mean?
Yeah, I feel like the Tatsu looks dumb if you just don't like the way it looks.
Correct.
I feel like it's animated well with the intention of what they wanted to. It's just, it didn't turn out to look as cool as they thought it was going to.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah.
Somebody thought that motion would look cool, which they were wrong about.
Right.
But then the animator was like, I guess if you really think it should look like this, and they made it look like that, and it looks bad.
Right.
But whoever was like came up with it in the first place, that's what they wanted.
Right. Because I mean, even G still, his animation still triggers something in my brain that something doesn't look right.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
I think it
even
looks
to
nice.
that point. But like, Kage never quite hit me with that.
Okay.
So I feel like Kage's okay. So.
Well, some people like the Tatsu, so there you go.
Yeah.
Some people have got it. Oh, I know all the insider MK11 stuff. Just ask Paco Stevens.
Yeah, Sagat, same thing. Both of them have a little bit of weirdness to them. So.
Oh, I think Sagat looks so sick. I'm very happy with Sagat.
Oh yeah, okay.
Very happy with Sagat myself. Anything else to say about Season 4? It's playable. Did you know that? Live right now.
Oh man. No, nothing else I can think about it. So. Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to let people know what I was.
Yeah, we talked about Ken. It sucks.
Yeah, referring to in the chat, I was just talking to King9999. If you guys remember, he was the one who won the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate last week. He had it, but he was going to give it to his friend. Turns out that his friend already has it.
Wow.
So guess what? We're raffling off a Smash Ultimate code later on today. So that is going to happen again.
Oh wow!
So
what a mensch that he actually told us.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that after the break. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
There you go.
I forgot to bring it up. He definitely, as Toshin is saying, is Shin Dan. Kage is Dan inspired.
Short fireballs, weird Dan kicks.
There's a video that Toshin tweeted out
Uh-huh.
that shows all of these instances. It's not just the fireball. It's a lot of his normals look identical. Seriously.
Dang, that's funny.
Sweep, stand strong, crouching strong. Oh boy, there was a bunch. Stand fierce.
That's actually funny.
There were lots.
That's actually funny.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool. Even his dive kick is animated like Dan jump light kick.
Dan is Eddie Brock.
Stand medium kick. Yeah, that makes
Dan
sense
is
to me.
Eddie Brock. So it actually the Satsui no Hado just symbioted with Dan, and actually that's Dan. That's why he's got the horns and the fangs.
This is it.
Dude,
this is it. Figured it out.
We got it right.
Figured
here.
it out. That's it.
He's Eddie Brock. 100%.
Got it.
100%.
Don't even need to play the story mode. Got it.
Exactly. He's Dan all along.
Yeah.
Dude, what genius.
Yep.
Genius.
Love it.
Yes. Okay.
Nailed it for sure.
Oh man, exactly. It's why there's no.
So
Dan.
there's not. Yeah, this is not going to be a Dan as a result.
Like, what if, like, in the story mode, Sakura goes up like, Kage,
what happened?
Something looks familiar about you, you know, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
We didn't talk about the Super Turbo exhibition matches.
Oh, actually, we did forget.
Yeah,
they were nice.
It was super cool. Choi was obviously super rusty.
Yeah.
He flew in that day, flew out later that day.
Yeah. He also, there's some of the inputs feel a little bit different in the game, right? And he didn't know about that.
Right.
So, whatever.
Okay.
It was cool.
Oh, cool.
Shouts to those fellas.
We got that video here. Okay, I'll look at that later.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, you want to take an old break?
Yes, let's take a break.
As we've prattled on for
quite some time already.
Quite some time.
Yes. Okay, cool.
100
Let's
minutes.
take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the results that have been going on in some other places and give away a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate code. So you don't guys want to go anywhere. Be right back. Woo! Oh, I'm sorry. No. Okay.
Can't say woo.
Yeah, I can't say woo.
Only if somebody donates bits.
That's right. Bits. Bitsy, bitsy, bits, 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 bits. Woo! 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 Thank you, guys. Shoutouts to everyone chilling in the chat right now. Hope everybody's been enjoying their week. Our thoughts on Makoto. In what way of Makoto? Like, is she going to show up in the season? Shoutouts to Breezy Die. Woo! Do you just mean like thoughts of putting Makoto into the game? Oh, shoutouts to Adam Sedge. Woo! For the bits. Do we want her? Do we care? I mean, I like Makoto. I'm not like, she was one of my favorite Third Strike characters. Shoutouts to Paul B for the sub, of course. I don't know if, like, because she was in 4. I'm more concerned on trying to get some of the other characters who haven't shown up again into the game. So I'd rather have, as much as it kills me to say that, I would say this, I would rather have Oro and Necro than Makoto. I would rather have Sodom, Junie, and Julie, even though I don't want Junie and Julie at all. But again, Makoto was in 4, so I'm not like sitting there like, oh my god, let's put Makoto in this game. So what's up?
Am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Oh, okay. Makoto's like the only grappler I've never liked.
Really?
Because it's just my relationship with her and Q.
Oh, yeah.
I really think that's what it is.
Okay, yeah, that's
like,
fair, that's fair.
From like a brain perspective, I think I'd really enjoy playing her.
So,
but she gave me such bad memories.
Oh,
that's a lot of money.
It's Zoidberg again. Every week. Thank you, Zoidberg. But like, honestly, the Makoto fascinated me from the very beginning because he was the first grappler that wasn't some big giant dude, and I like the idea of having a fast, slow walking grappler.
I'm definitely with
like,
you. I think those are all cool points. It's just, man, I have some bad memories.
I can imagine, dude. Which character? I know there's a character that I hate tremendously for that kind of reason too, and definitely have characters that I don't. No, but see, that's the thing is, I'm actually kind of excited to see what they do to Sodom, because if they can put him in the game and not make him a grappler, if they just made him like an armor king, not armor king, but like the guy with a lot of armor that he just runs through you a lot.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Like Abigail.
Yeah, I guess maybe less like standing still armor, but more just like some sort of like brawling run over you kind of thing, because that's what he did in the original game. He just ran over you a bunch in that stupid ring and then just hit you with katanas all day. Like, I think that they could have made him, I think they could do some really interesting things with him, to be honest with you.
I think it'd be tough for him to play anything like he played before and be unique.
Dude, Shogundo, I hugged so many people this weekend and I just enjoy it. And the best part about it is a lot of people that I hug now, like, I think they're getting used to my hugs, and so when we hug, like it's like real hug.
Oh, dang.
Like, even if I go and hug Yipes, it's not even like a bro hug. If I go hug Vicious, it's not like a bro hug. Like, we are like full on hugging, dude. And it's a wonderful thing. I love it. I love it, to be honest with you, because these guys are my brothers. These guys are, my co-warriors, and stuff. And so it's wonderful to me. These guys mean the world to me. And so I really love that. So,
all right, let's do it. Ready?
Yes, I'm glad, Natakan. There you go. I do like hugs. I did hug Daigo. That was right after Evo, and everyone saw that on Daigo's stream too. I didn't even know he was streaming. He had the camera on his shoulder. That's when Shino was teaching him how to say, thank you for all your hard work.
Oh, that's cute.
So I walked up, I saw Daigo. He was the first person I saw as I left the Evo arena.
Yeah.
And I walked up to him, and I just saw him, and I just walked up and gave him a hug. And then he looked at me and was like, thank you for your hard work. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. So,
So
yeah,
cute.
exactly. So.
All right. Let's come back.
Okay. Woo! Shout outs for those bits.
Yeah,
Stupendous.
thanks, Stupendous. Good luck over there.
Thank you, Frankie.
With the big fellow. Hey, so in one of my favorite place names in the United States of America over this past weekend, an event occurred called NEC in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania.
Why is that your favorite?
That's a cool name. Really? You don't think that's cool?
King of Prussia?
It's just such a weird
I mean,
name.
I've heard of it before. Yeah. But I like.
We've been there.
Woo! Thanks,
I think that's
Hatson.
awesome.
Oh, thanks, Hatson. It's awesome.
I think it's a pretty cool name myself.
I mean, it stands out.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know if that makes it cool.
Well, I like it. Soulcalibur 6 happened there. A bunch of other stuff happened there. Of course, at the same time, Capcom Cup was happening there. So I don't think that they had like a big SF tournament, if they had one at all. But they did have other stuff, and I've watched some of it now a little bit.
Although I'm happy about who won the Street Fighter. That was really cool. So.
Who won the Street Fighter?
You'll get there.
Okay,
I don't want to spoil it for the people.
All right. Soulcalibur 6 was won by Linkors.
Yeah.
Who played Geralt. Party Wolf got second place, Killick and some.
Yeah, there's like 300 some people for that Soulcalibur tournament.
It was a big one.
They put it on at the very end as well. So yeah, there you go.
It's super cool.
Super awesome.
I'm going to go back and watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Then Shen Yuan got third with Siegfried, and then Sane, then Dragon, then Kinetic Clash, all with Ivy. 4th through 5th.
This is after the patch too, right?
Yeah.
Wait, she got buffed? I thought it was mostly nerfs.
She got some nerfs too, but they did give her some buffs. Then Woes with Raph and Blue God with Oswell.
Party Wolf was second.
Party Wolf was second.
I missed that. Okay, I need to go watch that. Oh, this is before the patch. Woo!
Oh, was it really? Oh, okay.
Woo! Okay, cool. I need to go watch it because I want to watch Party Wolf some more. So.
Gotta go check that out. Tekken 7. That's right. I heard about this. Bloodhawk won it with Marduk.
Nice.
Yeah,
all right.
That's
Good
awesome.
job with Bloodhawk.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Second place was NG Obscured with Alyssa.
Wait, did Sonic Fox play in that?
Oh, was he even in there?
Tournament?
Did he get
He
busted?
was, yeah. He's in 25th place.
Dude, that's the worst placing he's ever had in his whole life.
Right.
I don't know. Probably. I don't know, though.
Okay.
Because he's done great in other Soul Calibur
Kayane
tournaments.
was there? She was. She got 9th place.
Dang,
Good
you're
stuff
right.
to Kayane. Good stuff.
That's awesome.
Let's go, Kayane.
KDZ was there. Thermidor was there. That's cool, dude. That's a legit tournament. Dragon Ball FighterZ. Well, Sonic Fox won that one. Played Android 18, Bardock Frieza. No Kami got second. Android 21.
I know a lot of the other
Zamasu
players went to the Saga event.
Yeah, in Australia. We'll get to that in a bit. Smash Bros. Ultimate winner, the Great Gonzalez with Richter.
Okay, not surprised.
Second was Pelka with Snake.
Okay.
Third was 6WX with Sonic and Incineroar. Okay,
I gotta wonder how much Incineroar he played.
I'm also wondering that. Yeah, is that like Sonic and then like Incineroar afterwards? Yeah, I don't know. I gotta check that out.
Look at this. Earthbound in 4th place. SYE Earthbound with Ness. Ooh, I gotta go watch that. Although, you just watch footage of Foe from Vegas. That's all. I mean, dude, that guy's Ness is dumb.
Okay.
It's dumb.
Okay,
dude.
cool, dude.
God. I watch him play, and because, like, literally, I was like, I don't know if Ness is going to be good. I watched him play. I was like, this character's amazing. You know me. I'm never like that with my own characters. So.
Yeah. Then you had 5th was Crowding Movie with Wolf, also Grand Tail with Mega Man. 7th were BBM Beast with Pokemon Trainer and Mr. Lucky with Incineroar and Mii's Sword Fighter. I'm definitely going to go back and watch this one. This is cool.
I thought you were trying to talk like Grimlock or something like that. He won with Mii's Sword Fighter.
Okay. 9th included a Palutena, a Rob, a Mario, and a Ganondorf.
Rob
Pikachu.
is freaking good, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
Grimlock is in the chat. That's amazing.
Oh, dang.
That's so funny. Oh, man. Okay.
That's fun. SF5 was won by Ludovic. Cool. With Chun. That's
Good
awesome.
job, the Ludovic. Yeah.
He's a strong player. Very cool.
Yeah.
BB Tag is won by Grover with you and Ruby. Flux second with Mitsuru and New. That's cool. Guilty Gear was won by BXA Blaze with Raven. Marlon Pie got second with Eno. Under Night won by Rick here with Enkidu.
Okay. Oh, nice.
DOA won by Mr. Quiggle with
Shock.
Christy and Phase 4. Yeah, right.
Okay.
Pokken Tournament DX won by Wingtide with Aegis and the Champ. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, alright. Dr. B won CVS2 with S-Groove, Bison, Sagat, Blanca. What year am I living in? What in the world?
I mean, he did well at the Evo tournament. I mean, he
Did
got
he?
second
Oh, okay.
place at the
No
Evo.
way!
Yeah, he
Wow, I don't
lost
remember
the
that.
boss.
Oh my
He was
God.
either top 2 or top 3 or something like that. He did really well at Evo.
Okay, sick, dude.
Probably because he still plays it.
Wow,
Right,
that's
so-
amazing. VDO got second. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. P-Groove, Terry, Geese, Raiden, and P-Groove, Zangief, Joe, Yamazaki.
I was doing the S-Groove
Those are the
Bison right
ugliest
there.
teams.
Soon P-Groove, S-Groove Bison.
Yeah, I can picture it. Yep. Big Viper got third. Psycho Chronic got fourth. Nice work. Dang, these are some wild teams. Fourth, Psycho Chronic got P-Groove, Raiden, Cammy.
Dude, we did Tekken already, Curly W. We talked about it. Shoutouts to Mighty Zek for the 1-bit. Woo!
Dang,
Woo.
Dr. B got second. Yeah, woo!
We talked about Tekken, Curly
That's
W.
cool.
We
What
talked
about
about
Tekken?
Bloodhawk getting first place.
Yeah,
with
that's
Marduk.
awesome. Yeah, very cool.
Was there anything else in particular you want us to mention? Okay.
All right.
Thanks for spacing out on our show, Curly W. God.
So I watched some of the top 8 from Don't Park on the Grass
Okay.
Smash Tournament.
Okay. Melee and Ultimate? Or just Ultimate?
Yeah, both, yeah.
Okay.
Ultimate was won by MVD with Snake. Second place was PG Esam. They're both PG. Also Esam, Pikachu, Yoshi. Third was Conga with Donkey Kong.
With Yoshi. I wonder how much Yoshi he played.
Yoshi, from what I've heard, is really good.
Yeah,
I heard people are talking about him being top 2.
Yeah, that's why I kind of want to watch, so,
Yeah.
because he's a character that I might want to learn.
Then Big D got fourth with King DDD, Captain Falcon, and Peach. Then fifth was J-Tails with Diddy Kong, Toon Link, Ness, and Richter. Have I repeated any character? No. Fifth, Captain L with Pichu, Jigglypuff. Seventh was Too Many Cooks with Young Link. And seventh also was Magister with Incineroar Villager. Wow.
There's not a single
There's
repeated
no
character.
repeats in that entire top 8. And it's like, how many different characters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 13, 14, 16. There's 16 characters in the top 8.
And not a single repeat.
That's crazy.
That is awesome. Good job.
There's
And
one Belmont. There's a
dude,
Richter, but I don't know how
keep
much
going.
is used.
9th place, Robin, King K. Rool, Ridley, Ganondorf, no repeats. 13th, Wolf, Meta Knight, Ike, Ridley, Ken. Ridley is the only repeat.
What?
Ridley is the only repeat in
crazy.
9th and 13th place.
I feel like that's a record of some guy.
Well, there's 74 characters.
Right,
Should be
yeah.
fair,
Yeah.
but still.
And I thought I heard Ridley was garbage, but maybe that's
Yeah,
inaccurate.
I heard Ridley was kind of not good either.
That's what
but,
I heard. I don't have any knowledge on that,
don't
but
know.
that's my intel.
I mean, Kidnap is really... and Ridley is a command throw.
right.
I feel like command throw characters are just going to be good in the game,
I
so...
have no idea. But dang, that's very impressive. And Magister, shout outs to Magister with the old Grappler Zoner pairing, Incineroar and Villager.
Nice.
Beautiful. Cool. Yeah,
I need
like
to go
I said,
back
I watched
and watch some of that.
I watched some of it.
Okay.
But I gotta get some more. Melee was won by Tempo S2J with Captain Falcon. Dang, that's cool. Second was OG Swedish Delight with Sheik. Third was PG Zane with Marth. Nice work.
Okay.
Smash Ultimate Doubles was won by Esam and MVD, Pikachu and Snake. Cool. That's really that's impressive.
Okay. Wasn't the only stuff that was happening this weekend.
No.
Also, as we hinted at, was the saga event for Dragon Ball Fighters
Couch Warriors Crossup.
in Australia, you said?
Victoria, Australia.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. That's right, it was the last Saga event. So it was a big one. A lot of people went out there.
4 out of 7.
Kazunoko won it. GGP Kazunoko with Gotenks, Satoko Han Yamcha won it. So he's won 4 out of 7 Saga events. Yeah, that's amazing.
Was Goichi in this event? No, he wasn't here. I think Goichi's kind of stopped traveling as much because he's already qualified.
Okay.
So,
Well, all right. Second place was DNG Tachikawa with Android 18 Hit and Frieza. And I heard that he was really upset when he got second because that means he's not automatically qualified for
no, he has
the
to
finals.
do
He's got to go to the last chance qualifier like everybody else.
Oh, Goichi's had wrist issues apparently.
No way.
He has tendonitis. That sucks.
Wow, I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry.
That really does suck. Yikes.
But yeah, Tachikawa you could see visibly was upset. I saw the clip of it, and I heard he started crying and stuff like that. And again, dude, emotions run high in this stuff,
sure.
man. Like I don't want anybody to disparage him for that kind of thing. You know what I mean? That is absolutely a rough thing to deal with, man.
Shoutouts to Nakio for getting third. He got to winners finals, which is pretty cool. And lost twice, but that's awesome. Kindevu got fourth, then Apology Man and Super Noon fifth, then Seiyu and Lord Knight got seventh places. Galileo, Soji, just outside of that.
Right.
Dang. Fenrich got 13th.
So the interesting thing about this, however, is that the rule that they have set up was not that if you've already qualified that you get to give the qualification to the second place person. They open up another last chance qualifier. And so as a result, there are 4 so there's 1 by default, and then there's 3 repeats from Kazunoko. So because he won 4 times, he opened up 3 extra last chance. So there's going to be 4 last chance qualifiers. Now, the rule apparently is you can only enter 2 of them.
It was that.
Oh, really? They changed it?
They did. They announced that now you can enter all 4. Yeah. Which is the right call.
It is the right call, but I hope they make this a 5-day event.
That is definitely the right call.
I hope they make this a 5-day event.
Because it'd be terrible to only be able to enter 2 out of 4, and you have to guess which 2 to enter. Like, which 2 are going to give you the easiest chance? So, that's stupid. So, hey, everybody can enter.
So, my question is, are they just going to run them all on the same day? Are they going to have to spread them out into multiple days? This is a problem that they're going to have to figure out, I guess. But, man, that is, as a TO, like, I would see that, and I would just be like seriously.
That's going to be like a 15-hour day.
Yeah, that is not going to be cool.
KI World Cup did do 4 LCQs in a day. That's true.
KI is also a considerably faster game.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Wow, you just made me think about oh, man.
Dude, I wish there was a way that we could collect stats of how many Bardock level 3s will occur during the 4 LCQs total.
Is that still a big deal? I don't even know.
I don't know. Yeah, it's going to be a rough one. I feel so bad for the TOs for this event.
Good luck to the commentators. Oh. Hopefully they're into it. Dragon Ball FighterZ happened.
Oh, Smash? They did nerf it. Yeah, they did nerf it.
Yeah, so, that's okay. Smash Ultimate was won by DS Extra, who played Mr. Game & Watch, Wario, and Wolf. Wow. Okay. Second was GG Ignis with Palutena. Third was Riot Duon with Inkling, K-Rool, and Donkey Kong. And we have yet again not repeated anything. Fourth was 4E Big Boss with Snake. Then you had Kanga J Dizzle with Young Link. Then Tomy with Snake and Rob. I think Snake is repeating now. Kanga Ghost, Inkling, Ike, and Surge Defective Dagger with Wario got 7 places.
Dang. Okay.
Anyway, pretty good variety still. Tekken 7 won by Daniel with Geese. Melee was won by Order Sora with Fox and Marth. Soulcalibur was won by Seo with Ivy. That's pretty cool. BB Tag won by Kazunoko. Second place, Abigail. Okay, cool.
Nice. Okay.
Go check that out. I like watching him. Guilty Gear Xrd was won by Kazunoko with Raven. So he won 3 tournaments, right? Oh, no. Yeah.
He won a 4th one.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right.
He won a 4th one.
Lord Knight got 2nd place, by the way, with Million. Street Fighter V was won by GGP Kazunoko with Cammy. Wow. Somniac with Bison got
There was a picture of his 4 trophies from that event. And, I mean, honestly, we always talk about how Sonic Fox is like the greatest player at the moment right now, or just like maybe of all time. Like we gotta put some respect on Kazunoko's name. He's right up there.
I think that he might be. What is he in? He's certainly in top 5 all time. Is he in top 3?
At this point, I mean, right now I still don't have Sonic Fox and Kazunoko. I probably wouldn't put them in there just because the top 3 that I have, which are Justin Reinhardt and Tokido, have done it for a very long time and were super good across multiple. I know that the competition wasn't as strong back then and stuff like that, but let's just put it this way: they're right there. They're right there, and they're going to surpass a lot of those.
I think
other
I still
guys
have Tokido up there at number 1, but
yeah,
I might have Kazunoko.
Those are the 5 for free. Let's just put it that way. I don't think there's anyone else who could really go into that conversation out of those 5. Like, those are the top 5, in my opinion. So
it's a good list. Yeah. Well, those are the events that happened over the weekend. Okay. All right. Now, you want to get to this little 5-5 matchup here?
Yeah, let's talk about 5-5. There's a couple of things that I want to talk about.
Okay.
Here, so
I like to talk about this Evo Japan thing.
All right, Evo Japan. Finally, let's talk about this.
Evo Japan. So the main game lineup was revealed, and it's not exactly what you would expect. So it's Tekken 7 BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, Soulcalibur 6, Street Fighter V Arcade Edition, King of Fighters 14, and Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2.
This sounds like the greatest lineup ever.
Yeah.
I'm down with this lineup.
I mean, it's definitely the best Bandai and ArcSys games of the year represented there. Obviously, it does not include Dragon Ball FighterZ or
Smash
Ultimate.
Yeah.
Maybe I spoke too soon. That also had Bandai involved. So those are big misses, right? DBFZ and Smash Ultimate are big misses. DBFZ is one of the biggest games of the year, of course. Same with Ultimate already. Expected to continue to grow. It's already very popular naturally, and it's very like it's hard to think that it's anything other than a rights problem.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, so
ArcSys has BB Tag and Guilty Gear in there, so it's not ArcSys' problem, and Bandai has Tekken and Soulcalibur in there, so it's not their problem either, but when they collaborated on making Dragon Ball FighterZ, of course, there's a rights holder involved that owns Dragon Ball, right? Pretty big rights holder,
right?
And Nintendo just owns its own stuff, right? Obviously, so it's Nintendo.
I mean, for Dragon Ball, it was already removed from BCF. It was already removed from DreamHack.
Yeah,
not showing up at Evo Japan.
Yeah,
for me, not a huge shock. If it didn't show up at regular Evo, I can't even honestly say I would be surprised.
I agree with you. I would not be surprised. Yeah, I think that it really sucks. It's not a big surprise. The whole time there have been rumors flying around that Toei is not cool with all this. That they don't like competitive play. That's not what they're interested in. That's not what they want their IP to be used for. I've been hearing rumors since literally before the game came out that was the case. And no actual substantiation of it until, like you said, BCF lost the rights to do it, then DreamHack, and it's in neither case because there was anything else. Like, it wasn't the fact that nobody was showing up for it or whatever. Like, it wasn't. It was not logistical in any sense. It must have just been the rights. So that really sucks. It's a very popular fighting game, and lots of people would love to play it. Lots of people would love to watch it. To not have it there is a really, really big miss. It's one of the biggest ones that I can recall. That and Ultimate, same tournament, not being there. That's one of the biggest one of the biggest misses that I can remember. I mean, like, Evo always gets big games. Like, how often, even at all, have we faced a situation where a big tournament comes up and it doesn't have all of the games we want? It's very rare.
One of the things that, is probably to note is, remember the article came out last year that Evo Japan lost a bunch of money.
Yes.
And so if Toei or Bandai Namco are like, hey, give us all this money for Dragon Ball, then it's probably just not within their means to do it. They need to make sure that they can turn this event into a either profitable or break-evenable event first.
Yeah, so you think that Toei or Nintendo wanted giant fees to have the games playable at Evo Japan, basically.
Nintendo probably, but also maybe there was more than just Nintendo, right? Because of the fact that it has Konami characters and Sega characters and all that, which is always
the stupid lawyering.
Which is why I'm always scared. See, like, if I was Nintendo and I was gonna do the lineup that Sakurai did, I would try to make sure it was in the contract that they had the right to have these characters be used on display for esports events.
Like, if it's possible, for sure they tried.
Right.
It would just be bad legal practice for them to not have tried. Man, I really hope that's not the case. That would really be disappointing. My hope for the reason why, at least for Nintendo, is that maybe they'll have a series themselves,
right?
And they don't want it to be upstaged by Evo Japan.
But then, if that's the case, does that mean they're not going to play nice with Evo and with CEO and Combo Breaker, et cetera, et cetera?
Right.
So
yeah. But then it could also just be that they wanted a giant fee to be able to have their video game at the event, which is something that they can do under copyright law. They control the rights to use it in that way. I don't know all the ins and outs of Japanese copyright law, but that part is similar rights. So they have the authority to do that. I think that really, really sucks. There have been instances where that's been threatened. I mean, think back to Melee the first time it showed up at Evo. I remember driving to Evo and getting a text from somebody that Melee was not going to be allowed there, and I literally pulled off into a gas station and furiously texted and tweeted and called people for like an hour.
Oh, dang.
Everybody wants to ask questions. I'm answering them. I didn't have any control over it either way. I don't want to paint that, but just everybody's trying to figure out like what's going on.
Right. I was literally on the plane when I learned about it, and then we took off, and then we landed, and it was done.
It was okay already?
It was okay already.
Yeah, it was a short period of time. So that's the biggest analog that I can think of, right? And that was years ago. It's been a while. I'm really disappointed that copyright law allows that, but that's what it is. That's what the law is. There's always a noose hanging around our necks in the scene, and it's not just us. It's everybody who plays video games in any kind of public or competitive way. It's always there, and there's no way to get rid of it. The only way to get rid of it is to have a long-term license that cannot be revoked, and that's basically just not granted, right? Because they don't need to grant that. There's no reason for them to do that. So we just always have to worry about this. I hate that. I hate that we have to pay attention to what somebody else wants. Toei is just, they're not adding anything to this. Do you know what I mean? Like Dragon Ball's IP is there. That's a thing that exists. Well, they made that, but they didn't make this video game. They have nothing to do with FGC.
Don't forget that they tried to shut down Mexico City playing it on the big public screen.
That's right.
They shut that down, because they would play it in the big public screen so everyone could sit there and watch it together, and they shut that down.
Yeah.
So, and again, not to belabor the point, but this is why, for me, stuff like Mortal Kombat, Tekken, and Street Fighter are always going to be the most important fighting games, in my opinion. It's just because those are IPs owned by the company that makes them. Yeah. And so it's just like NRS is like, oh, you want to do a Mortal Kombat tournament? You have rights to the entire Mortal Kombat franchise. Here, put Kintaro art if you feel like it. You know what I mean?
They do. But we as players and tournament organizers and commentators and team owners and people who make merchandise, everybody who tries to make any kind of business out of it, not even just business, people who like this as their hobby, we all have to be concerned constantly that that's all going to go away, because it could. Not likely, I think, for things like MK and the other ones that you mentioned, but all it takes is a change of leadership in those companies, and we have no control over that whatsoever. We are totally at their whims. It's a terrible way to run a community, and it's a terrible way to run an industry. And I think that esports, in both of those senses, in both community and industry senses, is always going to be in a bad position from any number of different angles, including financially. As long as that legal regime exists, we're always going to be at risk from both the community and the industry standpoints.
Yep, they can take everything away at any point in time.
Exactly right.
It's always a tough
thing.
If
you're a player for Dragon Ball, you may have planned to go to Evo Japan, because why not? Why wouldn't it be there? It's such a popular game. Well, so you may have already sunk in the costs of attending. Maybe if you have a team, they have sunk in the costs. Even if you just wanted to go hang out and watch it, you can't do that anymore. There are already people that this has a direct impact on. It hurts people directly.
Right. And I just want to answer one of the things. They don't own the tournaments, but that's why. Because now these tournaments are technically profiting off of their game. Yes. Right? They're getting entrants, they're getting people, they're getting ad revenue and all stuff.
So it's not the profit. That's not it's a factor when you're thinking about these things, but it's not what's called a dispositive factor. It's not the only factor that matters.
Right, of course.
Okay. So just literally exercising the right to show that game in public is an owned right. You literally cannot display it publicly. Right?
Well, I feel like that would only be the reason why they would exercise that right.
Oh, typically that's true. Typically, you only bust somebody who's infringing your rights if there's money involved.
Right.
But it doesn't need to be like that.
Right. They don't have to. That doesn't have to be.
It doesn't
their
have
motivation.
to be the reason.
Right.
Yeah, it can just be because they don't want other people to mess with it.
I'm pretty
and
sure
there are big instances of that occurring in the past.
I'm pretty sure that is the reason for majority of the time.
I really don't. Oh, the majority. For Toei, I don't know.
Yeah. For Toei,
they might
maybe
just
not.
be idiots.
Maybe
about
not.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's so disappointing, and I'm upset for all the players and all the people who are hoping to watch, and at the same time, it's good that we know this. It's good that we think about this. Like I said, I really think that if esports is going to be anything at all in the future, community-wise or industry-wise, however we're going to do it, competitive gaming, we have to have some rights. We have to have the ability to get some protection for ourselves. We can't just keep doing this forever at the whim of some other company. Just can't. It's not sustainable.
Combat Rock, you joke about it. He says that they don't want people seeing Yamcha beat Goku. He jokes about it, but I mean, remember what happened with Marvel? They didn't want any of the trailers of any of the Marvel characters getting beat up in the trailers. Remember?
It's totally understandable. It's believable.
Right. It's totally believable.
Believable.
Absolutely. So.
Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't joking about it. Maybe he was being serious when he said it in the chat, but it absolutely is totally believable. So.
Yeah, it sucks for the community, for the Dragon Ball community. It really does. But like I said, it's more than community. There are players whose jobs it is to play that video game. It's literally their job. And can they even do that at all in the future? In 2019, will they be able to do that?
Right.
I don't know. Maybe not.
It's tough times, man. It's tough times.
It sucks. Yeah.
Okay.
Copyright law is a stain on the legal regime. I hope that it dies.
We had something else on here. Oh, the Tekken prize money situation.
I don't remember what this is about.
A lot of players saying that they aren't going to play next year because they're just not earning enough to justify all the traveling.
Right. Wasn't it like first place was worth $7,500?
Something like that.
Or maybe that was the prize pool?
No, it was 7,000, I think, was for first or something like that. But with the amount of traveling those players do, that obviously that just doesn't make up for it at all.
No.
Right? It's not like the $250,000. Gotcha-kun's like, I'm going to buy a house.
Right.
It's not what's going to happen with the Tekken players. And so a lot of them were like, we just can't afford to do this anymore. Saint and JDCR, two of the greatest players, aren't even sponsored anymore.
Right.
And, they may even have to consider cutting back. So that just shot up the whole conversation again about the money, blah, 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 blah. Like, do we need to go more esportsy to make more money? Should we just screw it all and just go back to grassroots and forget everything, And it's an interesting conversation because I feel like this conversation, if you talked to me 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I would have had a different response than I do now.
Well, you live and learn.
Yeah, I think it's very different now. And mostly in the fact that, we can just go back to grassroots, forget it, whatever like that, right? But I feel like we would lose a lot of our players. Because not just even to the fact that they can't make the money off of it, but there are other games where maybe they can't. So let's say the FGC goes more grassroots again. I mean, some of these people who are good at video games, look how many fighting game players, like we've got Claykey, we've got Marn, we've got a bunch of people that have gone to other games and they've had success. A lot of the fighting game players might just be like, well, I'm really good at video games. I'm just going to go play one of these other ones instead. And then we would lose the players to that. That didn't exist 5 years ago. That didn't even exist 10 years ago. That temptation, I don't feel like, was as strong as it is now. Right? With all these other games becoming esports, if the FGC doesn't start upping their prize money, then players can literally be like, well, then let me just try my hand at Smash at League of Legends or Overwatch because they're obviously good enough to play these games. So I don't know. It's kind of an interesting situation.
Although it's true that we have had some players who've made that switch. It's pretty rare.
Mm-hmm. Well, because
certainly skills transfer to some degree, but I think it's probably not likely to expect that people would do that en masse. I think that I'm more concerned about them just like not playing competitively. Like not that they would switch to something else, but just being like, well, I don't know how old Saint is. He's like late 20s, early 30s, something like that?
Probably early 30s.
Early 30s?
Yeah, he's been playing for a while.
maybe doing work and earning money.
Right.
Right? I mean, maybe he needs to. I don't know his financial or family situation. So if that's the case, then if there's not going to be enough money playing video games, as cool as that is, then maybe you have to do other stuff.
Right. So that was the problem from a long time ago, right? So we would lose a lot of players of that, and that's what I was thinking, because I was just like, we're all just going to drop out little by little. But, we'd always go back to Evo because we love the game. Because we're doing our normal job, we would still go to Evo to play because it was our time in the year. But nowadays, on top of that, some people might not even go to Evo anymore because they're too busy learning Overwatch, because they're too busy learning Fortnite, because they're too busy learning something else.
I think that's not my concern. I think the bigger one is the one that you mentioned of, as people get older, they tend to have more responsibilities and they need to earn money, and if they can't do it playing video games, they'll do it somewhere else. It's hard to switch genres, not just because, there is some skill overlap, but do you care? You know what I mean? Like, do you like Fortnite enough? Dude, not that Fortnite's nothing against Fortnite.
Dude,
just
half of the FGC
people who play
spends
FGC
all their time playing Fortnite.
Okay, but would they compete in it? I don't know. I'm not really sure.
I think if they didn't have fighting games, they absolutely would be playing.
Totally, they'd be playing something else from the get-go. But they have fallen in love with fighting games.
Right.
So I think that anyway. Regardless. Yeah, it definitely sucks that players can't do what they want to do and make a living doing it. I don't really know what the solution to that is.
And, this is why I know we've had this debate before about the prize money thing. I said that I want the prize distribution to be better to all the players later, not now. And this is kind of a result of that, right? Because the problem with it is winning $250,000 at Evo is enough to make people want to keep playing, and it is a life-changing amount of money, legit life-changing. $7,000 at Tekken is not quite enough. You know what I mean? When people hear $7,000, people are like, what the F, right? Like, we can't do this anymore, and all these people are going to quit. Yeah. If you top load it a little bit, then these players will be like, well, if I could win this, then this is the deal, right? And not only that, but sponsors will hear that. They're like, oh, God, the guys at Capcom, he won $250,000. There's some prestige here. Let's invest in this, et cetera, et cetera. So like I said, I'm totally down with the spreading of the money once we have that money. But I don't think we're there yet. I just don't think we are in a position where we could have done that. And this Tekken World Tour is a perfect example of it.
Might be true.
Right? Is that the prize money is just not enough for anybody to feel like it's worth maintaining going for this. And that's the rough part about it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, certainly people will continue to play the games competitively. I think it would be unlikely to expect there to be many pro-level players doing that. Somebody will keep playing it. I'm not worried about that, right? Will there be a role for people who want to play it professionally? It's a different question, and maybe not in Tekken, unless they change things about how the tour works.
$250K is a good deal of money. You could do some smart things with it. If you can invest that properly. Or if you're freaking Menat RD and you won that and took it back to the Dominican Republic, like that, $250K is no joke.
And when he won that, remember the guys, DR guys, all getting together and chanting, "We are millionaires." Remember that? They're doing it right next to us. It was awesome. Yeah.
And it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, or Gachikun can buy a house. Like, that's a big
legit.
deal.
Of course.
That's a big deal, right? I mean, Knuckle bought his mom a house.
Yeah, that's big.
With that kind of money, right? So $7K for Tekken World Tour, you've spent more than that just to get to that point that you could play in the Tekken World Tour already.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, nobody's making money off of $7K from the Tekken World Tour. And so that's a tough thing. Now, I'm not trying to talk shit about the Tekken World Tour. They're doing what they can. If they could pay more money, they obviously would. So there's no...
I hope so. I hope that's true. I don't know.
Right. But... Yeah. Fair enough. But the question is, what can we do about it? Like, how do we maintain this environment?
Yeah. And
we had a whole episode before we were talking about where we felt like the FGC bubble might be kind of bursting a little bit.
I'm reading these articles now from, like, Esports Observer and, like, not just the FGC, but, like, big esports publications about how they think there's a bubble. It's big. I mean, there is.
I mean,
obviously.
That's why I wrote the tweet that I did, and I was yelling about it too. Because this is why, and again, sorry for people who have read my thread on Twitter, but I literally tweeted, I was like, this is why I hate all those articles and all the esports people going around like, this event had more viewers than the Super Bowl did. Oh, look, at any given point in time on Twitch, there's more people watching than there are people watching. Or, oh, look at this. Like, I hate that. I feel like they're over-promising. And I had a whole argument with someone on the Super Bowl thing. I was like, it's not as big as the Super Bowl. And they're like, what are you talking about? Those millions of viewers don't matter? I'm like, the Super Bowl charges millions of dollars for a 30-second ad. Like, you're not doing that for the League of Legends World Finals. So that where's this money the investors are putting into it getting back? And they're like, you don't think it matters that there's that many millions of viewers? I'm like, not when 70% of the people are in a country that don't buy your product. Right? Like, 70% of those viewers are clearly from China. Right? Because China is huge in League of Legends. Right? They love that game. And so if you have that many viewers and you're an American investor and you're like, hey, come buy our card that doesn't exist in China, how does that even help you? Right, you're comparing this global scale thing to one literal country where everybody is buying your products right there. And like, so we just aren't, like, I don't want people to actually sit there and go, we're as big as the Super Bowl, because now you're just over-promising. Someone throws in all this money, they don't see any of it, they pull out, now the FGC is snake oil, now esports is snake oil. They're like, well, this was a big failure, and everyone's going to hear about that. If you don't overpromise and you're just like, we're at this point, then people can invest what they feel like they should be instead of putting millions in there and losing millions. So
definitely with you on that.
Yeah, Echo Fox is a great example right there, right? So
indeed it is, and it was cited in that article I was just talking about.
Yeah,
it's true. Also, Curly W mentioned, I don't know, and it's apropos of not much, but Heroes of the Storm died.
That's right. Yeah,
Blizzard killed it, or Activision maybe killed it. It's kind of a bummer for that scene. That maybe is more in line with the Toei discussion we were having a little bit earlier of how a rights holder can just come in and basically destroy a scene if they'd like to. I don't know that it's Blizzard saying nobody can play HOTS anymore. That's not what it is. It's that the money that they were putting into it is not there anymore. Mm-hmm. But since it has mostly been funded by Blizzard, there actually was more of a grassroots scene out of that game. But it's so largely funded by them. Since that's gone, it basically, the scene had relied on it, and since that's gone, it's hard to imagine that there will be a big scene moving forward.
Sad. I mean, it's tough for those guys, but it's like you said, it's like at any point in time, the developer can rip this whole infrastructure out from under.
Well, look, I think that's part of the instability that maybe leads to a bubble. Mm-hmm. It sucks to have one person who makes the decision, because everybody could be telling you, don't hire Deltron for the Capcom Cup halftime show. But if you're the one guy who has the authority to do it and they're your favorite band, then you just make it happen. It's hard to have somebody who has authority like that. Mm-hmm. You have to rely on them to be making the good decision all the time, and sometimes they won't. I'd much rather have a decentralized kind of community.
I mean, I know the United States is not exactly, a great place to look for examples of one person causing all sorts of bad problems or anything like that. But, obviously can happen.
It can definitely happen. Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
Anyway, for Tekken, no, we're great. We're doing great over here. Oh, yeah. For Tekken, it is a bummer. I really hope that next year will be different, but that hasn't been announced, or I don't have any info about it. But yeah, I definitely hope so. I mean, people will keep playing Tekken regardless. Yeah. I'm not worried about the community side of things. We're good. But will people be able to do it professionally? That's the question.
Okay. I have one more topic for the...
what do you got?
5-5 Esports. There was a tweet by Chris Matrix recently.
Oh, I know where you're going.
where No Kami said, in a respectful manner, not being like, in a respectful manner, that if him, To Kill Sage, and Sonic Fox practiced Marvel 2 for 3 months, that they would be able to beat Justin, Yipes, and Sanford, and Matrix, and Executioner, and all those guys. I said on Twitter, I want to extend that offer to Hyperfighting and Watson. But what do you think? Do you think they could do it?
I think that's too short a timeline. I think that if they were given longer than that, if they played it like legit for the next year, I do think so. Mm-hmm. But 3 months seems too short because there are too many things in that game that are just weird, like that you're just not going to have seen in 3 months of playing, especially while you're also playing like Dragon Ball or whatever else. Like you're just not going to come up, and there's just going to be like too much knowledge on those other players' side. So no, I think that's too short. But I do think that they could do it if they had a long period of time.
And
just
dedicated like
and
all
yeah,
the
just
time.
play it.
Yeah.
I think they have like the underlying talent for it.
Yes.
But I don't think that they're gonna have. It's not gonna happen, right? You're not just gonna be like, all right, I'm just gonna quit modern fighting games and play Marvel 2. Like no, we'll never know. But yeah, my guess is they could. If given enough time.
Year, maybe 2 years, possibly.
I don't think 2 years. I don't think that's necessary. But
but
half a year, something like that.
I'd love to see it go down.
It would be great.
I would love to see it go down. There's just no
in some alternate universe.
There's no impetus. There's no reason for them to spend that much time on it.
Yeah.
There's just no way. Honestly, like I feel like Sonic Fox could do it.
Talent-wise, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say anybody else not Sonic Fox could do it at all. Maybe Kazunoko. Maybe those two. But again, in 3 months, I don't think Sonic Fox could do it. I mean, we just saw him getting 25th place in Soulcalibur, right? And he's been playing that a lot, right? So,
although he did get top 8 and win even. So
I mean, he's been doing well, but it's not. I don't think it's as free. You know what I mean? But again, that's why him winning Esports Player of the Year was deserved, because he's also playing like 7 other games at the same time.
That's pretty crazy.
It's kind of ridiculous. If he spent only his time on Soulcalibur, he'd probably be starting to do much better than he is right now. But he's so busy trying to learn he's probably going to learn Smash Brothers as well, right? I mean, I'm sure he is learning Smash Brothers.
He is learning Smash Brothers. I think he's playing Wolf.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? So, but
yeah, this is basically the point that I was trying to make. From Curly, who says that Viscant said that all the fast up-and-comers in Marvel 2 who were good against top-tier teams would consistently get bodied by low-tier gimmicks because they'd never seen it.
Right.
Yeah, there's so much crazy crap in that game that if you're just playing against the top-tier teams, maybe you can get good against them.
Right.
But if you've never seen like a Spiral team or something, then you're just going to get got.
Right.
Like you just, you
I mean, it happened to Yipes.
Exactly right.
It happened to Yipes.
You just have to have been in so many situations in a game like that to be competitive. That
the only person that would not happen to is Justin, because he's played every character and he actually knows a lot of the weird, tricky stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay. But yeah, no, I thought that was a fun topic.
Yeah. I'm sure it's not going to happen, but it would be cool.
Yeah, I don't know the details between the Watson 2GG beef. I'm sure it just has something to do with trying to run tournaments.
I don't know
and stuff
anything
like
about
that.
it.
He's like really mad. Apparently, they promised him something and they didn't. And then also he was saying that he's probably going to have to stop giving people free venue fee if they bring a console in.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that if anybody's mad about that, then they just...
I didn't see any negative replies to that tweet.
Oh, yeah? Okay. I think I saw some people were like, maybe half off, or I think that's kind of weird, like too quick or whatever like that. And it's like, dude, he's running a business. This guy's got to stay afloat, man. Like, no,
for sure.
No. Yeah.
Well, do you want to do this show next week? Because it's...
that's Christmas.
December 25th, which I've heard some people care about.
Yeah, I think this might be the last one of this year then, huh? Because then otherwise it would be New Year's, and we could do it. I don't know. It depends on what you're planning to do on New Year's.
Probably other stuff.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we'll be doing different stuff on New Year's Eve. It just depends on how much sleep you think you can get on New Year's Day.
I might be in like Arizona or New Mexico or something.
I didn't realize Christmas was next week already.
Yeah.
Dang, that's fast.
Yeah, Curly W, you and I can do it. We'll have some Chinese food afterward.
Okay. Oh, because you're going to be in Chicago area then, huh?
No, I'm just messing around. It's just a Jewish joke.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so I guess we'll probably come back. Maybe we could do the 2nd or whenever you get back, or just wait till the 8th and do our annual Ultra Chen TV Awards then.
We could do that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We'll have, what do we usually do? Player of the Year, Match of the Year, whatever. Whatever. Oh yeah, the giveaway. Don't forget the giveaway.
Oh, there's a giveaway. That's right. But I also want to mention a couple of other things. You know, the fan art project for MK11. They're doing something called the MK Collective for MK11. I think they're trying to do like some cool fan art thing.
Oh yeah.
Collaboration. Game Beasts Gamer Bee has re-signed with Aver Media.
Okay, we totally forgot to talk about Grand Blue Fantasy Fighter.
It's coming up. 2B has been released onto Soulcalibur. She looks ridiculous.
I tried her. Well, some of the stuff that's going on the internet is not actually a combo. So
I did see one of them that was definitely
tried her
not
for a while.
combo.
She seems interesting. She's got some mobility stuff.
Like
she
crazy
has some
air
big
combos.
Yeah,
and
she has
stuff.
some cool looking stuff for sure.
Yeah.
I tried her out for a while. She seems really fun.
And of course, a bunch of patch notes came out with the Soulcalibur stuff.
Didn't we talk about those yesterday? I mean, last week?
I don't remember. No, I think we mentioned that it came out, but we just didn't have time to say anything. Yuna has been released onto Final Fantasy Dissidia NT. So she is now available to play. Core A Gaming has a cool video out there where he interviews Rongchu, so definitely check that out.
All right, I gotta check that out.
Grand Blue Fantasy has been announced for PlayStation 4. This is by Arxis. It has a really cool art style again, but they are trying not to make it as combo heavy of a game. Now, when Japan says we're not trying to make a combo game, that doesn't mean there's no combos. It means it's not the air dashy type of Guilty Gear where you got to know all these combos on all the different characters and, you know, that kind of stuff. It just means that it's going to be more footsie based and combos will exist. It's just not going to be. So I'm interested to see if Arxis has a take on a Street Fighter E, Unist E. Unist is even pretty big combos actually. So Street Fighter E, KOF E kind of thing. Well, even KOF has kind of stupid big combos too. Yeah. So really interesting to see how that's going to work there.
It looks pretty. That's to be expected.
Yeah, but the
soundtrack sounds like every Arxis game.
I mean, let's just put it this way.
Which is not bad.
Cygames has been sponsoring a lot of fighting game events for a very long time and doing a lot of things there. So to have them make a Grand Blue Fantasy fighting game, I think is very okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I'd seen speculation in the past about it. There was just nothing to substantiate it.
There is a fighting game documentary called A Fighting Chance that talks about community grassroots in action. I have not seen it yet. Okay. Just want to mention it because every time there's projects like that, I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Go on to Shoryuken.com, just look for A Fighting Chance or FGC A Fighting Chance on YouTube. I'm sure you'll be able to find it there. Arika has dropped a new screenshots for characters coming up. I saw screenshots for Sharon, the girl with the gun from the EX games, and obviously you are very familiar with the Street Fighter EX lore.
Negative. Cool though.
Jump Force has added Trunks, Boa Hancock, and Renji Abarai to their game. So more anime characters in there.
Oh, right, the Bandai developed
one,
right?
Yeah. The Power Stone-ish kind of arena fighting game.
Right.
A bunch of fighting games are on sale for $19.99 or less at the Axis store right now. So you can actually get Arcana Heart 3 Love Max for $15 on PS3 and PS Vita. Blaze Brew Central Fiction is $20 right now. All these different versions of Blaze Blue are on sale, though I don't know why.
Continuum Shift.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd buy any of the other ones, but Central Fiction's on sale for $20. Exert Rev 2 is on sale for $20. Under Night in Birth Latest is on sale for $20 right now. So definitely go check that out. This was posted today on Shoryuken.com, so this sale is definitely still going right now.
Very
so if
cool.
you want to grab one of those, try to grab that now. And that's all I have.
Do your clothes still smell like meat?
Dude, I had to put my jacket and the dress shirt that I had. I'm hanging them in my garage right now, just because I have to have them somewhere where they're getting good airflow. We went to Benihana's afterwards, and man, all of my clothes smelled so much like meat afterwards.
Yeah, you know, hibachi, right? Like,
yeah,
you're just getting inundated by the meat and garlic smell.
Yeah, dude, we went into the elevator and we were like sorry to everybody else who was in the elevator.
What about in the car? Oh wait, we took separate cars.
Yeah.
The Lyft driver that I took on the way back specifically was like, "Wow, you guys smell like you just ate something good." And she was like trying to be cool about it, but I think it wasn't that cool.
Oh yeah, no, it was very garlicky.
Cool,
it's very garlicky. I mean, I love meat, and I love the smell of cooked meat. and seriously, like I kept whiffing it in my hotel room.
Yes.
At night.
It was in my hair after a shower.
Yeah, and I was like, I can't do, like, it was not good. So
like it just must have been coming out of my pores because I did wash, and it was still happening. And I'm not like a big meat guy.
Right. So
I'm not a vegetarian, but like it's not something that I crave. I even got tuna. And I didn't even eat the meat.
Right, but you're just there.
I just was just absorbed into me.
Dude, yeah, meat. My clothes definitely smelled like meat. I hung them at my door in my bedroom, on the door.
Yeah.
And my door is far away from my bed, about as far as it can be in the room, and I could still smell some of that meat from the bed. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, man, imagine working there. Like that's...
Dude, you smell like that all the time. I hope they can leave most of those clothes over there.
Right? Yeah, for real.
I hope they have like a place you can wash your hair in the restaurant.
Maybe that's why they wear those absurd hats.
Maybe to cover up.
To cover it up.
Yeah, I know.
They don't get meated.
There you go.
Because I got meated, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. It was definitely, it was fun because there was a lot of the people, production staff. So it was definitely a fun.
It was fun, for sure.
It was a fun production staff meetup.
All right, let's get out of here.
I'm glad that I actually made you laugh like that. So I'm surprised with that. Okay, hang on a second. All right, make sure the bottom. Okay, there we go. All right.
Sometimes you get good ones, man.
Okay, thanks,
have a
guys.
good happy holidays.
That's right. Happy holidays.
That's what I'm going to leave you with.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all that stuff. Happy New Year's to everybody. I'll be still streaming. We have a giveaway. We forgot to give away.
Cancel the bird.
Stop the bird. Stop the bird. Hang on a second.
Here's our Hanukkah / Christmas gift or whatever you got. We canceled the bird.
Stop the bird. Stop the bird. Okay. I'm going to close the raffle. Close it. Oh, that's the poll. Close the raffle. Reset the raffle. Start the raffle. All right.
All right, give me those exclamation point raffles.
That's right. Raffle. There you go. Raffle has started. There you go. And again, if you own the game already or don't own a Switch and have no intention to play it, don't enter the raffle.
Oh, sorry.
Don't enter the raffle. What did you do? Did you enter the raffle?
Might have entered the raffle.
I'm entering the raffle because it'll be funny. Plan on getting one. That works too. Okay. Because I just want to see if because I literally won my own raffle because I was like, enter the raffle, do this. And I typed my name and I won the raffle and everyone was like, collusion. And I was like, dang it.
All right. By the way, the last Capcom Connect of the year is happening right now. So.
Okay. So let's do screen capture.
I think they have 2 guests there. There's 2 special guests.
Okay. And I'm going to do a screen capture just so you guys know that we aren't cheating.
Are you expecting us to win right now? Is that why you're doing this? Do you think there's going to be shenanigans?
Well, who's expecting us to win?
You? Is that why you're putting it on screen?
Oh, no, I mean, you just want to do that always just so people know it's legit.
Okay. All right.
So
here it comes. I'm going to get a new Smash Ultimate.
Mouse is on the screen. Okay, guys.
Come on, baby.
Let's do the raffle. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Ultra
David.
Roto EXE. Roto EXE, if you are in the chat, come and get your copy if it is something that you want. Let me know if that is something that you want. Roto EXE. I am here, he says. Do you want your copy of I Want It, Thank You?
You got it.
All right.
Who's your favorite character? What character are you going to play?
What
character are you going to play? Better be a cool one. I don't want no foxes.
He says Pikachu.
Thumbs up.
Pika. Okay, there you go. Cool. Did you see that crazy 0 to death combo that Luigi had?
I did.
And that match where he did it 3 times to that poor Kirby?
And it's real? It's
yeah,
like
I went
legit.
and practiced that combo. It's a real combo, dude.
Dang.
It's a real combo. It's kind of brutal.
Pretty
Good
wild.
thing Luigi's throw sucks.
It's what? It has good range?
Yeah, but it is slow, and if you miss, you die. That's just all it really comes down
Wow.
to. So.
Congrats. Ryoto EXE. Oh, wait, did you say what character you're going to play?
He said Pikachu.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that. That's right.
Happy holidays, everyone. I'm excited for Ultra Chen TV in the new year. I'll still be streaming on my channel, though, for the rest of the year, just as an FYI. So. All right, guys. Peace. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Win that gelt. Oh, wait, Hanukkah already happened. Never mind.